And we are live.
How's it going?
What's up, everybody? Chill Saturday, and we got Charles in the house tonight. Mm,
Yep, I'm here. How's everybody doing today?
alright. Just give me a second while I'm still setting everything up. Alright. Yeah.
What's up, Will, Rob, Lemon Puppy, Seed Muffin, Ruby Slippers? How y'all doing tonight? I'm into pain. Pedro. Let's see. There's Brando. Hey, Brando.
Oh, hey, Charles. Figure I'll drop in a little bit, talk to you.
That's good. It's your live stream. I hope you do.
Oh, shit. I got a live stream to go to.
Cool.
Oh, man.
What's up, Brad?
Hey, Ruby.
So, what have you been up to, Brando?
Um, just been working a lot. I was able to get within the past week get a few varieties planted. A lot of them were ultra hots, but then I've been kind of doing some experiments with some of the pepper plants I've got inside here, and yeah, hopefully if I cross my fingers, hopefully it may look like I may have something to work with by the season warms up. So,
Yeah, I'm doing
uh,
good. Just been kind of chipping or mulching up my old plants from last year and kind of still working in the outside garden. Fortunately
uh,
for us, it's not that cold, so I don't have to deal with what y'all have to deal with up north with all the snow and stuff.
okay, yeah. Yeah, my garden area still looks like somebody laid out a whole bunch of Epsom salt out there. So,
Yeah,
uh, but so what are you going to do with all the mulched up pepper plants? You going to lay them down in your bed first, or are you going
yeah,
to?
I'm gonna do that. That's the
Okay,
plan. I mean, it's actually it shreds it up pretty fine. So there's not much left once it goes through the process. So I went
yeah,
through it quite a bit today, and there's just like a small pile, so it's not too bad. So
yeah,
just throw that on there, and be good to go.
yeah. That would be like a nice little base to throw some of those bottom of those raised beds you're talking about.
Yeah. What's up, Rob? Bonnie, how's it going?
What's up, Bonnie? What's up, Pedro? What's up, Rob and Rob? All right. And the pain and lemon poppy. All right. Uh, is there any certain varieties you're looking forward to this year, there, Charles?
There's quite a few.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, any ones more so than others?
um, I would say I don't know. It's kind of hard to say actually. Probably uh, like I said, most of my varieties I got from Max Cloth in Austria.
Oh,
I
okay.
think a lot of those, definitely the Leviathan Scorpion and a few others. So it's just quite a few. I mean, I've started a lot of varieties already, so I have, like I've said to many people, I have issues. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's fun. You know, like I said, I probably won't. I'll kind of I'll give some away. I gave, I think, I don't know, 50 plants away last year to coworkers. Most of them made it, so I'll try to give away some as well to people I know or other coworkers as well, because some do, have gardens and uh, seem to be productive for them. So I'll give them some plants again this year. So any of them that
yeah,
any extras that I have, which probably be a lot. But always lemon starburst, King Star lemon starburst. That's always on the top of my list as well, because I enjoy that pepper so much.
yeah. I don't know. Not too many people at the place I work would be willing to take some of my pepper plants from me. Yeah. I'm like, oh no, I don't like anything spicy. I'm like, okay.
Right. But yeah, we'll see how things go. Like I said, I'll start my other plants kind of pretty soon. So from my milder varieties and some other plants that I haven't, or seeds that I haven't started yet, or trying to restart. So
Yeah, I found that when starting season that it does not hurt to have start up multiple sets of them
yeah,
because you don't know what's going to happen during the process from seed starting till when your season's in full swing.
yeah,
So that
uh,
always helps to have backups. So,
yeah, Rob. I would say, like last year, I think off of two plants, one day I picked 98 pods off of two plants one day. So I mean, I picked hundreds, if not close to 1,000. Because I mean, most of the plants I had eight last year, and most of them produced. I would say, I don't know, good, almost probably about maybe 100 or more each. So I mean, I say they're a really good producer. And then they turn the good thing is they ripen so quick. I showed pictures with shared pictures with Blumberg, and like I took a picture of one that just had a hint of turning, and within 11 hours it was already fully ripe. I think it was. I forgot the exact timeline, but it was like it just colored up and it was pretty much ripened within like 11, 12 hours. So, but I mean, that's of course full. I mean, in the heat here in Texas, so it may be different from wherever you might be at or whoever's in the chat. Hey, Eric, how's it going? BD, hello, my friends.
what's up, BD? What's up, Eric?
So, yeah, it's like Rob said, it's very similar to a Scotch brain, which another one I'm growing quite a few of. I'm growing the traditional yellows and reds, and I think I have some kind of Scotch brain cross. I got some crosses as well, so um, that variety of pepper, that range is the bonnets. I really like those a lot. So yeah, definitely a cool plant. Hey Brad, so you're from Laporte. That's cool. That's way south of me. I'm in Cyprus. But not too bad. It's not too far a drive. Yeah, so just getting everything cranked out, and like I said, they're doing well. The ones I've transplanted already to double cups, so just keep doing keep trucking along. So I've got like 98 plants in there so far. I don't know, I think it's 60 or 70 varieties, and I got multiples of each. I probably don't need an additional 11 lemon starburst, but I have those. So technically, my 8 that I have from last year are still going. 4 of them are in a tent, overwintered, and 4 are still outside in the garden that I chopped down that are still, they're kind of reshooting and growing again. So technically, I have a lot of lemon starburst. So. Is there anything that you're excited about growing? I know you have a wide range of plants that you have going, but anything you're really excited about? Maybe something different than what you've grown in years past. I know you're a scorpion lover, so I know scorpions are generally on your list.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to scorpions, but um, one variety I've been meaning to get back to is the Butch Tea Scorpion. I haven't grown that one in a few years. I
Yeah,
mean, Butch Tea from the original Butch Tea strain,
yeah,
but uh, but yeah, I don't know. There's always something different.
out of focus.
Focus, focus.
There he goes.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I'm always looking forward to. For some reason, I'm always just looking forward to growing most any strain. I
Yeah.
mean, regardless of it being a super hot or not. I mean, I like super hots, I like ultra hots. Don't get me wrong, but I also appreciate other strains as well.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
like I said, I was talking to you earlier. I'm excited about growing other flowers too, not just
oh yeah,
peppers.
yeah. No, I mean yeah. Now in the past couple of years, several years, I've been actually appreciating to grow adding flowers to around the garden more. Not just to kind of try to beautify the garden, but just also because it helps bring more pollinators around, and that can always be a positive. Will be a positive thing to have around your garden, other garden plants.
So I'm into Payne's asking, what is the hardest plant you've had to try to grow? I think in general for everything that I planted, it came up, but not everything produces very well. And that also depends on in my area, it gets so hot a lot of times, it just doesn't do well. And then it does well later in the season, but it just for some reason, some just are very finicky. For me, honestly, I'm hoping my luck changes, but I'm hoping my reapers um, do better because I have crap luck with reapers generally. So Rob Blumberg assures me that the magic seeds that he gave me are is going to be a hell of a plant. So I got like 4 of those going. So I'll probably wind up keeping 2. Probably, I'm not sure, but I'm really hoping that they do well because that seems to be my plant that I can't produce worth a crap.
Yeah, I can understand that on reapers, definitely. The reapers I've learned can be rather finicky in a way. I know a lot of people have had luck with them, but they're still. I found that they can be rather finicky in a way,
Yeah.
but but.
So Rob Schaller is asking, how big is your grow area? So your backyard, the one we're doing, where's Waldo Brando last year? How big is that area that you have?
I have not actually measured that. Um, I got my garden had been expanding and expanding over the years, and it's just like at a point I was like whatever, and then just accepted it is as what it is. So um, I don't know offhand. I don't recall. I'm not even gonna bother trying to guess on that.
Yeah.
But I know I can fit easily hundreds of plants in there,
Right.
depending on how I want to do it.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, and I don't even bother counting the amount of plants I put in there because I just grow and grow what I can grow in there.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. A couple of years ago, one of my sisters counted easily over 130 plants a few years ago, and that was when before she stopped counting. So I don't know. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I just kind of just said, get the plants out there, kind of thing. Not even bother to skip the counting process on it. But,
Right. Yeah.
but so I don't know. I just like growing just to grow them. I may variate the way they're, sweet, mild, hots in different areas. Um, it really depends on which plants I have ready sooner,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I mean, there could be challenges on any plant. So just like going for like a sweet pepper, just like the ones that you gave me and a couple other people, the sweet twister. Well, sweet twister gets pretty damn big. So, sometimes it's difficult to get, um, everything right. I mean, staking it right and get it so you can get a pod. It's that big. When you're talking 8, 10 inches long.
yeah, that's definitely a plant that no matter how you want to spin on it, you better keep it supported if you want that plant to stand up in any way.
Yeah.
At least in my experience, anyway.
Yeah. A lot of I mean, last year, a lot of the birds were eating mine. So every time the pods got to a pretty good size, I would find them just, peck through or what have you. So,
Yeah,
but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'll probably try to grow a couple more this year, see what I can get going in a raised bed.
yeah, yeah. I'm going to definitely grow some of those sweet twisters again this year. See how they turn out. Um, and then it's just the thing I don't like about the sweet twisters. They're like some of those the way some of those ahis can be sometimes, man. Now when you get a pod on there, some pods on there, you'll be waiting quite a while for it to ripen up.
Right.
I think it's just the bigger the pods are, the longer it takes to ripen sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it
but
does.
and one I'm kind of looking forward to that I didn't really grow as much as I wanted to last year is a chocolate scotch bonnet.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
grown that before. But,
Yeah. I passed on that one. I mean, crazy as it sounds, how many Scotch bonnets I have, but I chose to go with cappuccino Scotch bonnet instead of chocolate.
nice,
So I
nice.
want to try that one because I have grown chocolate before. So I just went with the cappuccino instead.
Yeah, scotch bonnets are always nice to have around. They go good with a lot of things. Um,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they are pretty good, pretty darn good producers as well.
Yeah, they can produce a lot.
And then I'm probably going to grow, the basic orange habaneros, but I want to get back to growing chocolate habaneros. I haven't grown those much in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Uh, definitely growing jalapenos. Like I usually at least grow a few jalapenos,
Right.
but Um, uh, yeah, there's just a whole bunch of them I still gotta get to. I just haven't.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I said, I mean, it'd be interesting here to see how people, what they decide to grow and how everything looks and is out. I'm in Payne's asking, what is your favorite mild pepper?
uh, that's wild. That could touch base on a lot of different strains there. Um, me wild. I'd say I'd say on the lower end of mild. I'd say I'd say let's see. Jalapeno would be a good versatile pepper.
Yeah.
Uh, so there's a there's a lot of cayenne. Cayenne is a good one.
Hmm.
Cayenne is definitely one I as a go-to pepper for most
Right.
anything. Uh, what's your take on that, Charles?
I'd agree with, jalapeno, serrano, uh, any of those in that range. Another one for me that I really love, which I'm growing a bunch of always, is well, more this year is the monkey face yellow, specifically the yellow because I think the yellow tastes better than the red. But if you've never grown a monkey face, I highly recommend that. That's it's got the wall and crunch of like a bell almost, but then it has a heat of a serrano, maybe a little under serrano, but and then it's got a really good fruity taste. It just got an awesome taste to it. I mean, it's like hands down for me one of the better tasting peppers.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
So
But
that's a good one. Brad saying
yeah,
hatch pepper, Aruba pepper. Hatch are good. I mean, I love hatch peppers. I'm gonna grow. I think the was it Big Gent. I forgot which one it is on the hatch peppers, but I'm gonna try to grow some hatch this year too.
Anaheims aren't too bad either.
Right.
Um, there's a whole mess of wild peppers that can be touched base on in regard to
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Um, I mean, like you said, Serranos, they do got their places in
Yeah.
there. Um, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? What's another one that was I grown?
Sometimes those Hungarian wax ones can be not bad.
Right.
Um,
Um,
shoot.
I can't. I'm drawing a
So,
blank on it. Which one it
yeah,
was?
well, ones that do got a little bit of a kick to them are Thai peppers, the various types of those.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm into pain saying fish peppers.
well,
I don't think I've ever grown a fish pepper.
but
They look cool, but I've never grown them. Oh,
yeah,
Santa Fe Grande. Santa Fe Grande is a good one.
there you go. That's a
Santa
good
Fe
one.
Grande is kind of close though to a um, what is that other one? That damn, I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll think of it in a second. But Santa Fe Grande is a good one.
Yeah, Santa Fe Grande. If you're looking for something that's similar to Santa Fe Grande, but this one is more of a hybrid. It's actually involves the Santa Fe Grande from the info I've gotten from it. It's a Havasu.
Oh, Havasu. That's the one. That's the one I was looking for. Havasu's very
Havasu.
similar.
Yeah, it's well, I don't know if the information I got was fully accurate, but if that info I got on the Havasu I got was cross between Santa Fe Grande and Fresno.
So both are good peppers, so you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, so Fresno's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's another one. Um,
Another
yeah,
another
there's
one
a
I'm gonna another one I'm gonna grow this year for the first time is called a Joanne. It's kind of a mild pepper that has they said like a lemon taste to it almost. So I want to try to see how that works out for me. So I got the seeds for that, and hopefully everything works out. What's up, Goham? Let's see if I have a picture of that Joanne.
There you go, hey, Brad. Yeah, Brad mentioned Trinidad perfume, and that one's a pretty good one too. Um, I mean, that's for people that likes that kind of flavor. That it could be hot, but it's not really hot. Hot. It's more
Yeah,
on the low end. I mean, I let my dad try one of those a few years ago, and I know he doesn't like spicy that much, and
yeah,
jalapeno is about as high as he usually wants to go.
yeah. So
And
that's a. Oh, sorry. That's a Joanne.
oh, hold on for a second there. Juana, isn't that that looks almost like it could have a habanero-ish almost shape.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
I don't know. It's kind of a
not
different.
quite habanero.
It's kind of a different shape. And then the other like an ahi that I'm looking forward to growing is the Margarantino.
Oh, nice.
So that's another one. I got those seeds from Justin. So looking forward to growing those.
Yeah, those ones that I was saying that kind of has a habanero shape. I wasn't meaning it looked like a habanero, but it's almost reminiscent of a shape similar to habanero.
Yeah, I forgot what they said. I got it uh, from pepperlovers.com. I've got seeds from them in the past.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen, yeah, I've heard about seeds from them. I haven't really bought too much from them. I think I may have got something years ago, but I don't recall growing it much.
I think her name's Judy. I think it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's I've heard of that one. It's been a while since I've gone on that site. Wow.
Yeah,
I probably should soon.
yeah. So it's the description. It's a extra rare French pepper with bright yellow color and sharp hot taste like a lemon.
Uh, so it's going to have like a lemony, citrusy kind of a flavor to it.
Yeah, that's all pretty much how the description is on that one. So
Yeah. I know that is becoming a more of a popular flavor profile. That's becoming a thing. More and more people are liking is the lemony kind of citrus like tones.
I guess let's see. Baker Creek had one. It didn't look that like that shape, but it's piment joanne sucre, sweet
Uh,
pepper, and it's I guess it came from the French Caribbean. But like I said, it could be a different one. But it's like a 3.5 inch golden yellow pods. So I don't know, maybe the same kind of thing.
it could be,
So
but I don't know. But there's a lot of different peppers out there to try. It's hard to pick just to narrow it down to just one or two. So,
yeah, oh, I
uh,
know. There's like I said, I mean, you can go crazy trying to think of all the different ones. What's up, Rocky? Yeah, I mean, there's just so many peppers. Believe me, I know because I have issues and I generally buy a lot of those varieties. So I have a tendency not to stop.
yeah, I have a thing with even though I know I have more than enough seeds to last me probably till the end of the century.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I still always catch myself trying to buy, finding something else I like.
right. Yeah.
So, but oh, I heard you bought something recently.
Yes, the same thing that you bought, but at a different price.
Yeah, yeah, those one of those newer flavors of PAQUI chips.
Yeah, so it's the PAQUI Fiery Chili Limon.
Wait, is yours like a blue color?
Nah, I think it's just the light. It's purple.
Oh,
I think
okay, I
it's
was about to
yeah, it's just the reflection or something
say.
off the LED or something. It's purple. What's up, Lisa? Did you go to the Conroe swap meet today?
Yeah, I got those too. So those. That'll be
Yeah.
interesting to try. PAQUI is usually pretty reliable and having some nice flavors there, chips. So, and then generally, comparatively to other chip brands, a lot of their chips seem to be in less of a crumb shape.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess if you want, we could take turns trying these out and give our opinions
Sure.
on them.
Go for it. It's
And,
your live stream. You're first.
but do I have to?
Oh, well, no, you don't have to. You don't have to eat them at all if you don't want. But
I know they kind of scare me a little bit, man. So,
I imagine you'll be all right.
anyway, all right, we'll try some of these fiery and chili limon chips.
Cool.
Huh. And you can smell the tortilla chips, but it's got not a bad smell.
Hmm.
Not picking up a highly limon from the smell or lemon from the smell.
Hmm.
All right, well, I'm watching on these, Charles. You can probably.
Let's see what we got here. Hmm.
Oh, actually not a bad flavor. At first, I didn't pick up that little lemon or lemon flavor until just now.
These are really good.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. I think this is what now that lemon or lemon flavor is building up on me. It's not so much fiery hot to me, but yeah, it's a good flavor. I can see this being on definitely having around when you're chilling, relaxing, watching a game or having some people around.
Hmm. I mean, there's just a slight notice of heat. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's more of a milder kind of heat. Hmm. Looks like it's got a slight nacho-y kind of flavor. With a little lemon.
But definitely a really good chip. How would you compare this to? Well, it actually starts building after a while. After a few chips, you get, well, 10, 15 chips, you get a noticeable amount of heat.
Ooh, this one's got a nice coating on it.
Yeah. So out of the two new ones, the jalapeno or this one, which one you like better?
Um, I'm liking the sweetness and the jalapeno flavor of the other one, and
Yeah.
this one does have I don't know, they're just different. The other one seems like it almost has like a slight onion and sour creamish almost flavor, or slight
Mhm.
hit of ranch flavor to it. But that one can have like the tropical kind of flavor, like what it says in the on that other bag.
Right.
But this one does have that kind of lemon citrus kind of fiery chip type flavor.
Right.
But if I could, if I really wanted to catch me on a hungry night, I could probably
Mhm.
polish off the bag, no problem.
Oh, I could if I didn't already eat before the live stream.
But definitely a good flavor on this though.
Oh yeah, very good. Like I said,
Man,
it just takes a while, but they kind of build after you eat about 10 or 11 of them.
Yeah, if he, yeah, just like what you're saying, if he'd, you know, so many a handful or two of them, you definitely can feel or feel something there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good chip though. Like I said, I mean,
Oh yeah,
their chips are really, they're really good chips as far as the chip maker. They're one of the best brands I think that's out there.
yeah, they got good quality to them, and the chips are nice and crisp. They're not
Yeah.
like overly done with all their seasonings on it.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, the haunted ghost pepper one is hard to beat. That's like one of the best hot chips there is.
You know, if PAQUI wanted to do something different, they could always go with the scorpion one. Ah, dang fluid. There it goes.
So,
Shouldn't swallow water down my windpipe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do that. I mean, that could be a next step. So,
Well, it doesn't have to be like Moruga scorpion, but it could be just a Trinidad scorpion because it'll be like a little different take on the spiciness, but also flavor as well.
yeah. I mean, they were kind of the originator for a super hot chip when they did the one chip challenge. So, um,
Yeah, yeah, they could just do something different. I mean, I'm not saying like they have to do a one chip of the scorpion, but I mean like a bag of flavor, like the haunted chips do.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that'd be just a different take.
Well, like I said, I mean, may come out with something because I mean they're definitely thinking on different, have different takes on chips because they're coming out with new flavors.
Oh yeah,
So, I mean, I'm not really 100% sold on uh, the new bag or the new look. I mean, it's cool. It's kind of, you know, I mean, I think it fits in with that Aztec theme, the way that they went with it. But there's something about like with the, especially with the haunted ghost pepper. I just always like the bag with the little ghost on it. So
yeah, I agree with you on that one. I mean, stick to the classic on the design on it too, in my eyes. But I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever way works for them. But um, I can see with the newer flavors probably keeping that the newer look, and then the other ones kind of sticking with the older one.
yeah.
But um,
Well, I mean,
I mean,
they're gonna go with something that's kind of the same thing because they're gonna make a whole production run. They're gonna keep them consistent when they got to go to printing the bags and everything else. So there's as
yeah,
little variation as possible.
yeah. Uh, but that's fine. I mean, as long as they don't let the quality of the chips suffer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's still, I mean, it's better than any Dorito I've ever had.
Oh yeah,
Well, with one exception, the Tapatio. The Tapatio Dorito is hard to beat. That Dorito is hard to beat at all. I mean, that's one tough Dorito. If you never had the Tapatio Dorito and you like,
I think I may have tried it like a while back, but I just it's been a while, so it's kind of hard to place a flavor on it at the moment. But
yeah,
I also tried some of the flaming hot nacho chips,
yeah,
which which isn't bad. You can tell they're actually trying to put that little heat in there, but I mean, but it'd be nice if it was actually not like that just flaming hot flavor added to it, but if it was
right.
actually more of the real level of heat.
Or they went
But,
the wrong direction, like they went with the Blaze, because the Blaze is horrible.
uh, yeah. I mean, I think it's just more since Flamin' Hots is the brand that's out there, and they're putting it on most anything, so they're trying it on wherever they can get their hands on it. I mean,
Eric,
uh,
I have the Tapatio popcorn. I haven't tried the Tabasco one, but I've got in a pantry. I've got the Tapatio popcorn. I think it's really good too. That's a really good popcorn. And then
but
with
yeah,
popcorn, you can also kind of doctor up yourself. And if you have powders, like if you have any of Rob's or yourself's powder, Brando's powder, Rob's powder, anybody who makes powder, you could just always do the shake and bake uh, method with any kind of popcorn and spice it up and make it a lot better.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the popcorns I usually make are this brand of popcorn I've been getting from around the area. It's a local farmer. He actually grows the popcorn.
Yeah,
And so I've been actually past. Hold on a second. Dang. Got to clear out my windpipe. Yeah. But it's a local farmer that's been growing this popcorn for a number of years.
right.
And he sells it even at the local fair and a few local stores. He doesn't sell it at like big names brand stores, but
Yeah,
uh, it's a nice little popcorn that you can pop yourself. And I found that when I eat it, I don't need to add much to it. I know a lot of people like butter and this, that, and the other thing or whatever they want to put on it. That's fine. Um, but well, I tend to put. I don't really put butter on on the popcorn I make. I tend to put a little bit of salt, and then at times I'll I'll add some of the spices I make, whether it be more on the mild side or more on the hotter side. Just
yeah,
depends on what I feel at the time.
right.
But, but I don't mind, you know, getting the popcorn, getting that popcorn because I'm at the same time I'm kind of supporting local farmers and that, like the small time farmers. So I wouldn't say small time, but not like corporate farmer or something
Right,
like that.
right.
It's always nice to some of those find some of those nice things products you can find from gardeners or growers and farmers that aren't the biggest corporations or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a good chip. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it
It's
definitely is
definitely
nice.
and definitely make a good chip for lunch if you have a sandwich or whatever.
Oh yeah, maybe get that with like a dip or something like that too.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't do dips a whole lot, but um, I don't know. It would be nice to see where they go with any of these new flavors and stuff they're trying out.
Yeah.
Um,
I think at one time they had some kind of cool ranch or something. That one was really good. I mean, it had no heat, but it was a really good flavor to it.
yeah, they had a couple of stores. They have some of that around here, the ranch kind, and then they have spicy queso and
Yeah.
the nacho cheese, which those aren't bad either. Um,
Right.
so I don't know. I'm just looking forward to seeing where they go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know if they're going to continue on doing with one chip challenge thing or not. I haven't seen
I think
much of
that
that.
stopped. I mean, they would have done that last year. I think that was it because I mean that they didn't really do it. I mean, last year was mainly the challenges were the death nuts last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this year
I did
the
still see. I did still see some people doing the one chip challenge, but not as much as it was hyped up to be in the beginning, the year before. So
all right. Well, they
uh,
bought them off of eBay or whatever and paid a fortune for them, so they better do them because they probably paid a pretty
yeah,
penny for them.
yeah, a lot of them could pay like $50 a chip or like $100 a chip or something like that.
That's crazy
So
because I mean you're paying $5 plus shipping for one that was fresh, and then you're for an older chip that's been around, you're paying $50 for it or whatever. That's just so it's crazy. It's great for the person selling if you got a chance to get a bunch of them, but that's a lot of money for one chip. I mean, you like I said, all you got to do is you know find somebody who makes good powder. Like I said, Rob or Dave, growing home West Virginia, any of those powders, you put that if you make your own powder, you can make a batch of chips yourself and shake them in the bag. Put some salts or whatever else you want to put in there, and they'll be just as hot or hotter than the this one chip challenge generally.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there's a lot of options to go on those chips, but
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, I didn't mind trying that one chip challenge thing, but the thing is just that was off the deep end when they're charging the prices they were for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, there was the I tried the second year, the version 2 or whatever. So it had that smoky chipotle flavor to it. I mean, the
Yeah,
flavor was all right, but it wasn't like nothing. Like personally, if they can make their haunted ghost pepper chip, it was like that flavor, but just hotter. That would be great. But I mean,
yeah,
it just went somewhere else on that one chip challenge.
yeah. So with some of the flavors they added in there, the other spices they added in there, just kind of didn't really quite match up to par as with the actual eating of the reapers and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't
Right.
spicy, but the flavor didn't quite match up.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying it was a bad thing all around. It's just in general, I think it was something they just did, and then I don't know. I think if it was to keep going, then they could probably do some improvements on that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen much on it, so it just seemed kind of like it fizzled down a little.
Right.
But we'll see. Maybe the next one is probably do a bootleg or something like that. I don't
Yeah. Well, it's going to be
know.
something different. It's going to be some other type of food, or it's going to be not. I doubt it'd be a chip. So we went from I think over the
Yeah,
course of 3 years or so, it's been chip, nut, and chocolate. So
yeah.
that's kind of the
Now,
that's what how it is.
next thing is will be ice cream.
Mm, yeah,
No, I wouldn't do the ice cream like that. Not unless you actually, because that would just a ship is something like the ice cream from the company to somebody's place. That'd probably be a little costly shipping wise. But,
no, it won't be ice cream. It'd be some other form of
um,
food.
yeah, ice cream wouldn't be bad there. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, uh, shoot. Uh, I don't know, man. What are any thoughts on what you think it could be, or what would be a decent idea
I
for
think I
that?
think I think Blumberg's going to hit it big, and it's going to be the Bambi challenge. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's right, Rob. I forgot about the noodles. The different noodles. The noodles was right before the chocolate. Well, actually, the sausage. Yeah, because if you looked at Joey's, who's down the street here too, the Valhalla. That's still the one of the biggest challenges because
yeah, there's
that's hard to eat that whole link of sausage with how many peppers and hot sauces he puts in there. So that's been tough for everybody who's done it. I had one, but I lost it because of the um, not knowing that my freezer went out in the garage, the power. So I didn't want to take a chance on it. I can always go get another one. I mean, I could just meet up with him, just give him a call. But I don't know if I really want. I told him when I got it from him, I was like, it's something I didn't want to look at as a challenge. I'd like to try it because I don't think personally I could eat the whole full link of sausage. I just don't think I could do it.
yeah, um, yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of different ideas to go with in foods, um, but I've been noticing everybody's trying to one up each other on everything, but um, but in regards to spicy challenge, that could be a lot of different things. I
Yeah.
mean, chips have been what, getting a bigger thing on it. The ramen noodles, that's becoming a thing or been a thing. They got a place out here out in Chicago that they do been doing a spicy noodles challenge for a while now.
Right.
Been doing it for quite a while, but um, there's there's a lot of things. Um, shoot, I don't know. They'd probably have to do is something people could readily have access to. You know, if they're to be mailed to them or not have to worry about preserving it in a cooler en route or something like that.
Yeah.
Uh, there's a number of things with that. Um, I don't know. Just as long as it's not like refried beans or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah. That's a thought.
Yeah, that'd be a little odd, but I don't know. There's a lot of things to go with.
Right.
I mean, if you're going for junk food or actual food, but I'd be interested in doing or trying an ice cream, even though I spice up my ice creams a lot anyway. So, um, is there any certain kinds of sweet peppers you're looking forward to this year besides possibly? I know we touched on the sweet twister, but um,
I'm gonna the one's called a yellow monster and the Zulu pepper. Zulu pepper is a bell that looks kind of like a eggplant color, has an
um,
eggplant color, kind of different. And then the yellow monster is a gigantic, like long, sweet bell, yellow bell.
I think I may have seen that on a seed magazine or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
they have
cool.
it in uh, Baker Creek.
Ah,
That's where I got them from.
uh, Baker Creek is usually a decent place to shop.
Yeah, they're. Like I said, you order stuff and they're really good with shipping everything out to you, and then you get a pretty cool, um, book along with it.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't know if you can see it, but that one right there, that yellow green one, that's a
Uh,
yellow monster.
that'll be interesting to see how you go, how yours turn out on that.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's pretty cool. Um, the other one, this one's another one that's below it. I ordered that one as well, but it's the Violet Sparkle. That's another.
oh yeah, I was looking at that one the other day. I was debating on like I was like, should I just get a few and maybe get that? Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of them. I mean,
Yeah,
there. So there's not all hot, um, few sweet, some of a combination. So there'll be all kinds, and see how they do, and just hopefully everything holds up, and don't get attacked by too many pests. That's what you always got to worry about, like all the different bugs. Mainly for me is stink bugs and leaf-footed bugs. That's my enemy, usually every
yeah,
year. So
yeah.
they I guess you could say the pods are still acceptable, but except if you're trying to sell them or trade them or do whatever, they just look nasty with that little cysty wart that those stink bugs and leaf-footed bugs puncture and make on the pepper. So it just just doesn't look good
Yeah,
aesthetically. So
yeah, those little stink bugs and other things can get rather annoying at times.
yeah,
But
it's just you try to get a grasp on them and make sure they don't get out of hand, and you look for those little colonies of nymphs and try to blast them. I may may get one of those foggers this year and fog everything. I don't know. I haven't just decided yet. Just as a something to spray and spray the whole garden. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing is when I've noticed that if a person, this can happen with any gardener at any given point, no matter how experienced they are or not. Um, if there seems to be a problem that gets from one plant, then it goes to another, and you got a decent growth space and a bunch of plants, it is very hard to get a handle on it once it starts going from one
Yeah.
plant to another.
Well, I mean, it's a stink bug and a leaf-footed bug are hard to, because of how they're hiding out in their like little hibernation mode from one season to the next, and like I said, they reproduce so fast. They just get out of hand, and it's hard to go and look through every plant uh, to find to see if you have everything going. And by the time you notice them, they're already getting to the bigger stage in their development, and it's like it's almost getting too late sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, that's the unfortunate side effect. It was like when bugs start spreading from one to another, it's just before you know it, they're all over the place. And
Yeah.
mm,
I mean, like I said, the spiders and assassin bugs can only do so much, because
yeah,
they handle one at a time. So it's not
yeah,
like they can handle an army unless you have a bunch of assassin or spiders. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that totally. I can see your point. I mean, that's what if a person has enough things that can help out, it's all the better. But
yeah,
there's only so much they can do when they're reproducing by the millions. It seems so. Uh, yeah, but I don't know. Oh, but, shoot. No, no, no. This past year, mosquitoes were annoying for like just several weeks they were out.
yeah,
Fall. I mean, I went out there and just brushed up against a few of the plants, and it's like there's like a cloud of mosquitoes. It's like like no, I'm just trying to pick some peppers. But,
right.
yeah. Hey, you tried growing ahi iguana or
I'm growing that
goanna?
this year. I'm growing that this year.
Yeah, okay.
That's on my uh, AG list.
Yeah, I don't. I've grown ahis. Um, I just don't haven't. I don't know. Sometimes I don't have the patience for them all the time. Um, ahi rainforest and sugar rush peach are pretty decent, but a lot of ahis are really uh, productive,
Yeah,
but they can have that tendency to want to take their time ripening, just like a lot of people have mentioned.
yep.
Uh,
Yeah. So, oh, what Brad's talking about? It's actually not too far from where I grew up as a kid, but that's ooh, is it gonna the the Charlie's Five Alarm Fire Burger Challenge? But it's basically it has lettuce, tomatoes, onions, secret sauce topped with grilled jalapenos, habaneros, pepper jack cheese, and nitro sauce, which is advertised as 10 million Scovilles. So I don't know about that. Let's see what else does it have in it. Oh, so it has liquid capsaicin. So it's basically a combination of chili bowl, dried chilies, red pepper, garlic salt, cayenne, jalapeno salt, and then the liquid capsaicin. And then it has 5 bottles of hot sauce, which is ghost chili sauce and habanero concentrate and fresh habaneros. Interesting.
I'm probably giving it a try, but I don't know. Sounds like it's got a lot going on, but I'm not saying I couldn't do it. But it just sounds like with all the stuff to being listed, it sounds like a lot going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm, I've never ate there, but the other burgers look great. But I don't think I would be up for that challenge.
Yeah, I'll give it a try, but I'm just saying I better have a good flavor to it as well because
Well, hopefully,
I don't like
hopefully the other ingredients mask the extract. That's the
um,
biggest thing.
yeah, the extract is definitely throws it off because I mean you can taste the extract no matter when they put it in stuff.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely. You have
I
that
mean,
chemical taste or
yeah,
whatever it is. So
yeah. I've tried like the local place I mentioned before that where they put use a ghost pepper extract in some of their barbecue sauce.
right.
You could, I mean, for a person that's familiar with how you know fresh hot peppers taste versus extract, you can really tell the difference. So I mean, especially
Yeah,
when it comes to certain consistency of that. And
yeah,
yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'd be willing to try that, but I wouldn't be looking forward to the flavor of the extract myself.
right.
Put those scissors. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pork
I agree.
roll.
The rainforest last year, Rob. So those are another pepper that take go quite a while, just like a lot of the other ahis to ripen.
Yeah. Ahi rainforest is a nice one. They can have a nice structure to the plant and everything. I agree with you. I when I grew it, they did take a while to ripen.
Yeah, they're close to sugar rush peach level as far as ripening.
Yeah, they have a nice flavor, in my experience.
Yeah,
Um, but in regard to pod texture and uh, and stuff like that, I think I like the texture of the Sugar Rush peach better than the Ahi rainforest.
yeah,
It seems to be more seed to flesh ratio on the Ahi rainforest versus the Sugar Rush peach.
right.
Um, oh, that'd be interesting to see how that Ahi rainforest does in that little pepper can challenge or whatever it's
Yeah,
doing.
I'm gonna do um, several of those. So I'm gonna pick a bunch of different ones, but I think I'm going the ornamental route for growing those in a can. I'll probably start
Yeah,
mine Tuesday. I know it already started and stuff, but I'll probably start mine Tuesday. Ooh, out of it.
ornamentals is a good bet on that one for a can type of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I'll get some things started and see what I got going for that. Man, I don't want to start it too early, but I don't know. I've never done one before, so I want to see how it works out.
Yeah, but the thing is about does it have to be a 12 ounce can?
It has to be a 12-ounce can, which kind of takes away from all the
Yeah,
cool beer cans that are 16 ounce. Because
yeah,
I know Rob
but
Scheller know for a fact that a lot of the cool cans are 16s.
yeah, but also being in a 12 ounce can size, that means you better have either under like a drip or something like that, or you better keep a constant eye on that thing because those definitely will need constant watering.
Yeah,
But I mean, at least from my experiences when it comes to that, because I know with little containers they just dry out super fast.
right. Yeah, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how everybody does on that Because, like I said, there's two different ones. There's one on Pepper Lovers, and then there's one on Facebook as well. So there's two contests going right now for the Pepper in a Can challenge. And if you're on, both, you could do both. I mean, it's the same thing. So you can just enter yours in two different contests. That's what I'm doing.
And who even started this challenge? I mean, in the first place.
I don't know. Rob's Schaller. I think he's done it for 1 or 2 years now. I think he was saying, because I know he still has his from last year. So I know he did that on one of his videos. He was showing. I believe I'm pretty sure I saw that on his video about that's his. He had his can pepper in a can challenge from the year before. So yeah, last year. He said it started last year. So this is the second year.
Yeah. I mean, I can say before that, like it was a couple years ago, that I had like a reaper growing in one of those plastic thing, plastic those plant starter things that you'd get at most garden centers,
Right. Yeah.
where you get planted and it'd be probably, I don't know, it'd probably be, I think it may have been a little taller, bigger than a 12 ounce container size. It may have been like just under a liter size, but for the grow pot. But it was under a liter size, definitely. But
Yeah.
it was just like it ended up growing probably about this tall or so. But then it got these little looking reapers on there.
Hmm.
You could, it was funny, but I mean, they just look like kind of like almost like they didn't quite make it to that full reaper shape, but you could tell they're little versions of reapers.
Right.
And when you eat them, they definitely you could tell they're reapers. They had a reaper heat, but they're just small pods.
Yeah.
It was, oh no, it was kind of funny. But I only left that in there in that thing because I had taken up so much space with the other plants. I didn't have a spot to put it. And by the time I was going to put it in the ground, I was like, oh, it's too late in season. And then I just ended up overwintering that plant. Took it out. Took it out. Set it in the ground the next year and just let the plant go crazy, go nuts when it came back
Yeah.
around. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I know the plants I got in here this year. I'm definitely going to have to do what I got to do to get them all outside. Give myself a little break from growing inside for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But be interesting. Then a lot of these ones I'll have to get them reacclimated to growing in some soil. Um, Other
Yeah.
ones I'll just leave it cracky style. Eh. Oh man. Uh, so
Yeah, Rob was saying
uh,
his can and a pepper in a can is going to be a year old soon next week or a few weeks from now. So it's approaching a year old.
has he has he hey Rob, have you posted any pictures of it? I'm not sure if I seen it. Probably did, but just been busy.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, March 3rd. Well, I do got first pod showing on that one dark colored pepper plant I'm growing.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess somebody posted they found those M and M's, those jalapeno M and M's. So I have to keep looking, see if I can find.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye out in places I go, and I haven't seen it. Usually out around here isn't exactly the first place that gets them, so they'll probably be out for a little while before they get around to here. There's gonna be three kinds at least, so
Right.
they're all gonna be something nut to them. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, generally they do. The past few ones I think is some kind of coffee one or espresso or some kind of something in that
yeah,
nature.
they had chili nut before, but that
Yeah.
one wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
That one was all right. I don't know. At least they're open and trying new flavors. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rob said he's going to be making a video shortly of him cutting the can and repotting it. So that should be a good video.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So
that'll be something to see.
yeah, make sure
Yeah,
you, you check out Rob's Schaller's channel. Um, Actually, anybody who's in the chat, if you have a channel, check them out. I know Rocky does reviews. Lisa does everything. I mean, literally everything. So Rob, Rob has. I'm not going to get on Rob Blumberg right now. I'll leave that alone. Eric, I'm not sure if Eric has anything lately. The check. Goham has probably something dealing with a GIF, so he probably has
yeah,
how to create your own GIF for chats or something. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. He seems to like those gifts.
Yeah, Beatty he has content as well. He's gonna have a lot more. I know Bounty does. Bounty's pepper and video game related. So yep. So check those
Yeah,
guys out and gals, Lisa.
yeah. And thanks, Lisa, for sending what you sent me the other day. She sent me a few items that was rather nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but it was pretty cool. I'll be putting some of this stuff to use. There'll be like some things, like some new candy, new molds for making some different kinds of candies and that. So
Cool.
that's nice. Yeah. But, yeah. So, but this year I'm also looking forward to adding some new flowers around the area. So
Yeah,
that'd
me
be pretty
too.
cool.
Like I said, I mean, I got a lot from seed swaps. I bought a bunch at the big box stores.
Yeah, yeah. I've been past couple of years. I've been more open minded to growing different kinds of flowers,
Yeah,
which is a little different because I used to been most of the flowers I used to been growing a lot of is marigolds, but
right. I'm pretty
but
sure there's a chance that I'm just gonna buy a big wildflower mix. You buy in a bag and throw that over everywhere and just see what all kinds of wildflowers come up in the bed because I like looking at all the different wildflowers.
yeah, I actually did that with one of these dollar type stores around here. I
Yeah,
went in there. They had like one of those square boxes for $1 or $2 for that said wildflower mix.
yeah,
Decided to started shaking those around there and just watering it a bit. And then next thing you know, a bunch of wildflowers popping up.
yeah.
But which is always nice to see the difference, different
Right.
kinds. But yeah,
Yes. Are you? Do you grow normally any other vegetables?
I do grow other things. It's just like I mean, for my family, they like tomatoes, but they like to go a little overboard more than they should because I know they only eat a few tomatoes a piece, but they usually tend to want to grow like 15 plants, and a lot of tomatoes end up going to waste.
Yeah.
But I mean, then there's do I do like growing carrots. Carrots are always nice. Sometimes, every so often, maybe onions, maybe radishes. Um, I do will grow some corn from time to time, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
But in regards to potatoes, I I went from growing them, focusing on growing them in ground to more container growing
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
because
have those containers that it's pop aside, so you have
um,
a flap, and you can just pick them and harvest the potatoes from the side of the container.
yeah, I would like to get one of those, but I've just been the containers I've been using are somewhat bigger planters,
Yeah.
and those can do okay. But with with what I probably should do is when I get a chance is actually go buy some seed potatoes
Yeah.
rather than get some potatoes that I got sitting around there throwing out some spuds. But
Yeah.
I did a couple years for a couple years in a row. I did grow some of the purple potatoes and some of
Yeah.
the blue potatoes, and those were actually really nice. The
Yeah.
blue potatoes.
I thought about growing some cosmic carrots inside a container as
Oh,
well.
yeah, those are those purple with the orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice. The ones I grew were called purple haze,
Yeah.
and those kind of carrots are pretty good actually. Those ones with the purple and the orange hue to them.
Right.
Yeah, those are pretty good. They're actually a bit sweeter than regular carrots.
Okay.
Um, and then I don't know, the potatoes. Those are pretty good. Those darker colored ones.
Yeah.
They seem like a little bit thicker and a little almost creamier kind of a flavor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I should probably buy some of those seed potatoes for those this year to grow some in a container sometime.
Right.
I've been wanting to grow those again. But plus, those potato plants can have some nice flowers on them sometimes too.
Cool.
Uh, yeah, so um, well, yeah, but I noticed the reason why switched from the, the doing in ground versus and two containers with the potatoes is because for some reason, I mean, they get good sized potatoes, but for some odd reason, I get some weird ones that look like some mutants coming out of there because it'd be like look like some three of them connected together and fused as one, and some weird ones that look like you get turned into mutants and then getting knobs on them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like I don't know about that.
Right.
Yeah. And then, but I mean, it's not that they weren't edible. It's just they look like they came out of some freaking power plant or something like that. But
Yeah.
then then sometimes like I think it'd be either squirrels or rabbits would dig them up, but they'd leave the carrots. But and then but while they're in the containers, it'd be a little different. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm, let's see. You ever grow potatoes?
No, but I may do some this year. I want to try
Uh,
them in those. I want to try them in those bags.
yeah, that'd
So
be actually interesting to see how they come out of those. You talk about the bag you mentioned or the fabric pots?
no, the fabric pots that have the
Okay.
flap. The
Um,
I forgot what the hell they're called. Some on Amazon.
Yeah, I've seen some on some websites too, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how those go out because if they're anything like when they portray in the photos they show of them, and they produce a lot of potatoes, then they'd be worth getting. I mean, because potatoes are really decent to have because you can have them like last for months and months on end after you pull them out of the ground and store
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of different ones, but um,
But
but yeah, so they're like, kind of like, this is one style, like that has, you could just like peep up and harvest the
uh,
potatoes.
yeah, yeah,
And then
that's not
there's
bad to be able to do that.
then there's
That's pretty
a
easy.
another one that's more of a, let's see, I'll find a good shot of how it is. Yeah, there's like one that's like the fabric style and it has that little flap on the side. So yeah, I don't know,
Nice.
it's pretty neat. I may try that just for the heck of it.
Hey, if you end up don't liking the results you get from it from the potatoes, you can always use it for another pepper plant grower.
Well, that's true. But
Yeah,
I think I'd probably be all right with the potatoes.
yeah. It's always nice to have the actual ones you grew yourself.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, I like the little small. I like the little reds, the little fingerling potatoes. Those
Oh
type.
yeah,
I
ones that
like
are
just
just about so big.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
not very big or what have you, and you just go and drizzle some oil and some different spices or whatever on them and kind of grill them up.
yeah. The ones that only take like a couple minutes tops to cook.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah, I get you on that. Those aren't bad either because those you could just easily just take a little fork or something and just eat them real quick or something.
Yeah,
Little, yeah. But
we'll see. Like I said, I got to get to waves of peppers first. Peppers are
yeah,
always the first priority.
yeah, yeah. But
And
I don't know.
I have a tendency not to stop. That's the problem.
Yeah, once you get started, you're just gonna be going on a roll pretty much. Uh, but yeah, another reason why I grow carrots is also the dogs seem to like them too. So
Yeah,
I mean, past couple of years, it'd be like I'd be out in the garden, dogs would go right up to where the carrots are at, just sit there and bark at me until I give them some carrots.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, if you look at dog foods and well, higher end dog foods and treats and what have you, the majority of them have. Well, my dogs personally like duck and carrots.
Uh,
That's the treats that they like. That's what's that duck and carrot or rabbit and carrot or something. I don't know. I forgot which one. I had to go look. But
yeah,
that's some of their favorite treats. Yeah, Rob. I thought about doing the. Actually, I thought about doing that. The Charles P. Pepper Army. I was gonna do little stickers on that, but that didn't work out. That's when I was coming up with something. I thought that would be kind of neat, but um, I kind of went by the wayside. That was just a thought. So,
yeah,
like I said, right now they're doing good, staying low and not too. They're just doing fine. So they're about where I'm at. I haven't, like I said, I was telling Rev on his channel last night. I haven't. I've just watered them. I haven't given them any nutrients yet. So maybe this upcoming week I'll start doing nutrients. I don't know. Once they start getting a lot of nutrients, they start growing a lot faster. So I want to kind of hold off as get them too big too quick.
yeah, yeah. I mean, once you start feeding them nutrients, they just seem to shoot up pretty fast. So
Yeah.
But shoot. Uh, I don't know why I always get impatient when it comes to me running my little experiments with some of these plants.
Yeah, it'll be all good.
Yeah,
It'll work itself out.
yeah, it will.
It's either
Yeah,
you're gonna either succeed or you're gonna fail.
yeah, yeah. It always can go one way or another, no matter how much a person tries to think they can control the situation.
Right.
Um, but I don't know. I think one of the things I might do this year, if I'm going to continue to grow a few plants inside, I might just do it in the arrow garden,
Yeah.
and then just keep just a couple plants localized in there, and then possibly maybe do a couple experiments with some of them,
Yeah.
uh, rather than try to keep like a little array of plants of over in here in the room here. So,
Right.
yeah. All right. So you are growing peach ghost scorpion this year, right?
I am trying to get that. That's one of the ones that I'm having issues with right now. That and the red. So
Uh,
those are two that I'm having issues getting to get. That's when I was talking to you earlier. That's one of them. I was replanting it again for the third time.
uh,
But I mean, I got Peach Ghost and then Peach Ghost WM and a couple others. But I mean, so I don't have the Scorpion aspect, but I still have a Peach Ghost. Those already
uh,
popped. I just don't have the actual Peach Ghost Scorpion.
uh, well, if you wanted some seeds for that at some point, I mean, I could
Uh,
always send from your way.
yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I think I'll be able to get it. If not, I'll just move on. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah, Rob. Yeah, yeah. I remember you mentioned about those peach ghost scorpions and the seeds I sent you, man. I hope you get some crazy phenotypes. Yeah. That's one thing I like about those peach ghost scorpions is all the wild phenotypes from
Yeah, I
them.
mean, like I said, mine varied last year from beginning to end. I mean, they looked ghostly at the beginning and looked scorpions at the end.
Yeah,
Or I don't know. No, that was 2 years ago. 2 years ago they changed. Last year they were pretty much consistent.
yeah,
So
yeah. There's some of them that would not get them. Some of them would have a lot of the ghost shape, and but then there's been a lot of them that just have a lot of flipping tails or everywhere. Then there's some of them on some plants would have some ghostly type of shapes, and then scorpion shapes all on one plant. And then there's last year I had that one funky, really super funky pod off one of them that just looked like it was half melted or something with like
yeah,
placenta all up and down in there. So,
yeah. So this is another one. I've already got this to pop, but these are uh, peach ghost WM. So that's I've got a couple of those plants already that pop. So like I said, it's not going to hurt my feelings if I don't get a peach ghost scorpion because I think I
yeah,
mean any of the peach ghost, any of that range is just an awesome taste to it. I know the
yeah,
scorpion has a different touch, but that those peach ghosts just by themselves are good. That or if you know any of those, if you've ever had a peach ghost jamby, or any of those. Those are all good peppers.
Yeah, a lot of for some reason I don't know what it is about the peach variants, but they seem to be good flavors in general when it comes to
Right.
a lot
And
of
you can't go
flavors.
wrong with peach. Peach. I mean, like I said, I mean, they're all good, really. Like I said, the only one that people have a lot of issues with is the earthiness of a chocolate pod.
Yeah,
That's generally the consensus I get is people sometimes don't like the taste of chocolate pods.
yeah. There's with a lot of chocolate pies. I mean, with a lot of peppers in general, it's good to have some earthiness. But with
Yeah,
some of the chocolate ones, I mean, especially when it gets on the higher end of the heat scale, some
yeah,
of them just like I don't know, it just gets that little odd kind of earthiness that's different from the earthiness people like a lot.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know, some of those odd strains can get kind of different when it comes to that. But
yeah,
I think that's really strain dependent sometimes. But like the chocolate Scotch bonnet, that will have
yeah,
like an earthy smokiness to it, but like in a good way. So,
yeah.
but but it just really can vary. I mean, sometimes the Bulas can have a rough flavor to them.
Yeah, I mean, they
But
have a decent flavor. I've tried a bunch of boot. I mean, a couple of bootless. They have a good taste, but they're hot as hell.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, depending on how some of those Bulas come out, they can vary a little bit with the flavor. Because ones I've tried with some people versus other people, and it can also vary from plant to plant. Ones I've grown,
Yeah,
it can actually come out differently. Because I noticed that's some type of strain that can just go wild with it. Um, I mean, in regards to phenotypes and all that kind of stuff.
right.
So. But I've had some decent flavored Buddhas too. So I
Yeah,
mean, the red, like the reds, the, the chocolate ones that have gone red. The red
yeah,
ones seem to have pretty good flavors to them comparatively versus some of the chocolate ones. But that could be me. Some other people could say different too. So. But that's fine. Everybody's entitled. Everybody has their own taste buds going on too. So
right.
that's not a problem. Man. Hmm.
Yeah. So, do you like the red ghost scorpion?
Um, I haven't grown that one too often, too much, but that was pretty decent. That was but I think in regards to flavor, the peach ghost scorpion is, you know, I've always liked that one a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely the better tasting of the two.
But I don't know. I've been kind of meaning to grow the red ghost scorpion, but I don't know. I haven't really seen too many people have the same results and phenotypes as a peach. But,
Right.
but like the Jay's Peach Ghost Scorpion times Primo is a pretty cool
Yeah, I think I may have that one going. I'm pretty sure I do. I could be wrong.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky saying the chocolate ghost scorpion was extremely hot.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've grown that one. That one would be a decent one to try if it gets some of the same aspects to it. I mean, in regards to phenotypes. But, um, but I don't know. I've had to wear that one on the peach ghost scorpion plants. I've had when the plants have grown. I've had like a lot of different results in the way the plants have grown. Um, because I mean, it's just I've had ones where it looks like a bunch of lot of little branches pop out almost everywhere on the thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Eh, but yeah. So what all have you been planting tonight besides ones you probably already started?
Yeah, I did the Red Ghost, Jay's Peach Ghost, and Jay's Peach Ghost, Jay's Red Ghost. I'm having issues with the Gornong. I don't know if that's
Um,
from where the seeds I got from. Uh, and then I planted those from um, uh, Max Cloth, which were the orange bell, which isn't a bell pepper. It's just like a bell shape, but it's a super hot. The It's a BBL, and then there's what was the other one I planted? Oh, the Trinidad Hornet that he has, his cross of a Trinidad Hornet.
uh,
So that's what I grew, what I planted today, and then I may do some more tomorrow. Well, actually, probably Tuesday. Um, get those going, or maybe later tonight. I don't know. So we'll see. And then, like I said, pretty soon I'll be up to doing the milder varieties. What's up, Rev? Hopefully, you got some sleep.
yeah. Uh, shoot. Well, looks like I got this Count Dracula pepper plant producing more peppers again. I'm definitely going to put that guy outside this year.
Yeah, Count Dracula is a cool plant. I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, those usually tend to have nice structures and be fair producers. Yeah. All right. What's going on, Charles?
And I thought I was looking for a picture of a pepper from someone, and I'm still looking for it. I can't seem to find it. That may be given up shortly. I think I'm getting close finally. Oh yeah, so yeah, I'm finally getting close. So I don't know, I can't find one that's like fully ripened, but yeah, so it's when it's done, it's totally red. But this is another one I'm looking forward to to growing. This is from Rob Schaller, which is the giant red habanero. But I mean, it's like as big as almost all of his fingers. But it turns like real red once it's ripened. This one was just turning, but I'm
Looks
giving
like
up
it's
on
got.
my efforts. Huh?
I was gonna say it looks like it's got a nice shape to it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I got a couple of those going. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. He sent me some seeds, and looks like a pretty good sized habanero.
Yeah. Wonder if it's got any more heat than typical habaneros.
I'm pretty sure Rob can answer that because he grew them. So it's I'm pretty sure he can give an answer for it.
Hmm.
He says they have. Well, he said have twice, so I'm taking it as they have really high heat. So he said have twice, so it's pretty hot. I take it.
Okay. Technically, he must have been trying to express the really having the high heat.
Yes.
But
So
anyway,
yeah, looking forward to
uh,
that one because that looks like really gnarly pods. So it's kind of like Sandra's gnarly giant orange. I'm growing too. It's the same structure as that, but orange. So it's not the red pheno, but it's orange. So I'm growing a couple of them that are giant, giant habaneros. I'm trying to get the giant white. That's another one that I'm going to plant later. But I'm trying to get the giant white. The giant white is another one that's giving me difficulties. That is along with the Yucatan white.
yeah, I've heard that with the white habaneros, even in the little that Peruvian white habanero, I heard those the white ones are can be a little challenging at times to get going.
Yeah.
But,
So we'll see. Maybe I'll get something going, and if not, oh well. I'll just move on at that point. Be next year. Next year's challenge.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But one of the things I'm going to have to do within the next, I've been meaning to do it, but I've been pushing it off, is clearing out the arrow garden and then using the seed starter in there.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't got yet. Surprisingly, I know so many people have arrow gardens, but I've yet to buy one. So one of these days I will. If I get one, I'm going to get one of those giant ones like seen on the PLC. So I'm going to get the ones with the most uh, slots for pods, those little pod holders or whatever they call them.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, yeah, I've been kind of debating about whether or not to get the bigger models, but I don't know if I'm getting myself to that point to justify buying one of those. But,
Yeah, I have a lot of other things to buy. It is cool. Don't get me wrong. I know it does pop seeds pretty good and everything, but I mean, I generally have pretty good results without it. And for me to pay whatever they are, I don't know how the big ones are. What are they, 300 something?
oh, there's ones that are more than that, but yeah,
Oh, yeah, but
300.
generally, like I said, for me, I could spend my money elsewhere.
Yeah,
So then,
yeah,
there's always the system you could DIY. So you could go like
yeah,
Happy Pepper David's method, or just
yeah.
do
Or
another
you could,
DIY project.
yeah, you could do it multiple different ways, doing like you said. But I mean, just really depends on how much money a person's willing to spend and how much time and effort a person's willing to put into making it too, as well. So, I mean, if a person's willing to spend the money or is able to spend the money just to get the spend on it and then get it sent to them, then all more power to them. But
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm not sure if I'm quite at that point of allowing myself to spend a certain amount of money just to do that, because I know these things can take a certain amount of cleaning time and effort to even clean them after a while too. So,
Right.
mm, but they are nice if you're looking to grow inside and it's already got a little setup going on already.
Right.
Um, but I have found that the Aero Garden little net cups and the sponges can be pretty versatile on their own.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, because you can get the sponges and the net cup things from the models Aero Gardens, then you can basically get those and do your own little makeshift thing to put them in and start it off like that,
Yeah.
which is which is actually a pretty decent way to do it because I mean, if you find the right places, you can actually just reuse the net cup things over and over and over, and then just have to pay for the sponges after a while.
Right.
But I don't know. This that's the one thing it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Will's saying that tacos are sponges too.
oh yeah,
He's getting
I'm sure
prepared for
they can
Taco
ship.
Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure they can. The tacos can soak up some of that stuff pretty good.
Yep.
Uh, so well,
And then Rocky's saying that he has a plastic tote with 6 net cups in it and a fish tank pump, and works just as good as the Aero Garden. So, see, there's alternatives.
yeah. That's the thing is, if you can get something you know, to make it so you have more of a circulating thing going on inside the one of these your homemade things, then that helps out because um, rather than water being sitting there and getting stagnant or something, then it just keeps the stuff cycling around, which isn't bad at all.
Right.
I mean, I thought about doing something like that myself, but I don't know. I just kind of find something that catches my eye in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sure, I'll figure out something at some point.
Right.
I don't know, Charles. You ever thought about doing any hydroponics?
I have done it. I've grown. I mainly grown lettuce and some others. Well, I did do. What was it? Chocolate Trinidad Scorpion. I did those, but you know, I had them outside because the pumps. I did the deep water culture, that pump that Rev uses, and a bunch of others. It's just too damn noisy, and
Yeah,
for me, it just has to stay in the garage. And there's only so for my. I mean, I don't have an air conditioned garage or anything, so in the summertime when it's 105 or whatever it is, or 100, and then it's so hot in the garage, I can't keep the tent or anything else uh, like that, um, working because it's just too hot. I could do it in a room, but I guess I would have to find a more silent pump to make it not so noisy. But yet to find a one that's like not really quiet.
yeah, yeah. Some of those pumps can start ending up making noises, a bit of a noise and all that too.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, for me, I like soil. I mean, I think Lumberg said that as well. I'm just a soil person, so
Yeah,
I just like that better. I think there's a larger margin of error. You have a range on soil as opposed to hydroponics because you mess up the solution. You can have all kinds of issues real quick. Not to say that you won't have it in soil, but it seems to be an easier fix with soil.
well, yeah, it can be. It can be with the soil versus hydroponics, and there seems to be, in my experience with the hydroponics things, seems to be more maintenance in a lot of forms
Yeah,
in regards to that.
right,
But I mean, because you're always constantly like checking the water levels and nutrients, and got to be sure after some points you got to swap them out and get new stuff in, remove the old,
right. Yeah.
and
So I mean, I think it's like I said, for me, it's just easier to just do soil.
yeah. And yeah, that's the thing is when you do soil, you just basically get the plant in there, feed the your plants the nutrients you so ever so choose, and then you just kind of got to keep an eye on it, and then we'll try whatever method works well for you, and then go from there.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty much it is a lot simpler in regards to hydroponics.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, anyway. Or just like I'm agreeing with you, anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. Rocky said the same thing. Will said it. There's a lot of us who are just strictly dirt. Who like soil.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw another guy here, Matt, who did Space City Peppers. He did a whole little bed inside in his tent of soil, so he could do like lettuces and some other things. I thought about doing that as well, just like growing, making a little box and filling it up, and that like kind of like a mini raised bed inside in a tent. And because like right now it's like the best time for like lettuce and what have you, because
Yeah.
it's going to be getting too hot pretty soon for us down here for the lettuce to do anything. So if you can keep it at a cooler temperature, the lettuce and a bunch of other those vegetables can they'll grow better and do better.
Uh, I mean, just like if you guys seen from me when I've been growing, most of my plants are in the ground. So I mean, the only time you see me in here is like with plants in here is a lot of times in the cooler season. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have that for what is it? September, October to end of March, April, beginning of April.
well, I don't know. That really just depends on how the year goes. Because sometimes there's been some years where uh where I could be still outgrowing, past the end of October,
Yeah.
but that's not really always the case around here. Because usually in the October range, towards the end of October, is either when it cools down a lot or it gets pretty much frosting level.
Yeah.
So, but only the past year or so, I've really gotten more into like the hydroponics or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still constantly learning different stuff and manage different stuff in different ways. And, I mean, like with this plant right here, I mean, this is a little plant, but
Yeah.
I mean, what it is, it's a golden cayenne though. Um,
Yeah.
I started this in one of those Arrow Garden net cup things, but I didn't start it in the Arrow Garden. I started it in a smaller bottle and then just used it from like a weak nutrient solution to where it's at now, and it's actually
Yeah.
hit some little pods on it. But I don't know. There's some things about hydroponics that's decent, but there's other things that drawbacks to it. I much prefer soil myself.
Yeah.
I like getting in there, getting dirty get my hands in dirty and all that. So. Um,
I was looking. Also, they're showing the map of where all the King Star Lemon Starbursts have landed, and hell, they're all over the place. It's pretty neat to look at the map and see kind of where they all are. So, like I said, they're all in Europe and uh, Canada, U.S., a bunch of different places. It's kind of neat to look at that map. So, like I said, it should be interesting because so many people have that. That'd be a good contest for people who are injured. So, be fun for a lot of people. What's up, Derek?
I don't know. I've learned that being out there with getting hands on with that actually is pretty decent. I mean, I could probably spend all day and all night out there in the dirt. So,
Yeah,
so
Will wants to let everyone know that taco cures frustrations. It has been proven fact that Rev tested the theory extensively. That's cool. Um, yeah. Saw Rocky's picture of his raised beds. Those look good, Rocky. I don't. I didn't haven't checked out MeWe as much, but that's cool. Also, Brenda, you have a MeWe page as well, don't you?
yeah, yes.
And that is called
Oh, oh, you're talking about the group page?
yes.
Oh, oh shoot, I don't even remember offhand. I think it's just a gardening one.
Yeah,
I didn't put anything.
it's called gardening.
Yeah, I haven't really been focusing too much on that one, but um, so I mean, I've been doing some posts here and there, and some other people made a few posts as well. But, um, but I found with that MeWe or whatever, MeU or whatever they call it,
MeWe,
that MeWe.
yeah,
Oh,
MeWe.
yeah. I found that with that, the app has been really glitchy as of late,
Mm-hmm.
and and it tends to be asking for a lot of permissions to do access your files, access your microphone or your camera and that. So if you don't want to do that, just go straight to the website itself and do your posts and other things like that. That way they don't seem to be asking for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Beatty was talking about that. He said he liked the layout of the page on the computer better than the app. So I
Yeah,
may have to check that out if I can remember
yeah,
my password.
yeah. It's I've noticed that the app is it freezes up a lot and it doesn't fully load right some of the times, and some of the things when you flip to one spot on the page, where the chats, the posts, or whatever, some of them start getting messed up to where it looks like they kind of blend all together, so it's kind of makes it hard to see which is which.
Yeah,
And I know it's not the device I'm using because I mean everything else works on it. It's just that app in particular.
right,
So, but I don't know. The website seems to be fine with it, but if you're going from a computer, then that's probably what you're going on anyway. So,
right.
um, but It's just a dang shame they're charging for video chat and calling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into that. Like I said, currently Google Plus, Google Hangouts are still working, so I'll dive into that issue when everything else stops working.
Well, from what I've heard, it's just Google Plus that they're going to be messing with, not
Yeah,
Hangouts and that.
cool.
But
So yeah, we'll see how everything works out within the next few months.
yeah, I mean, if they keep Hangouts, that's fine. I don't have that because Hangouts has actually got a nice layout to it. Right. I mean, and plus they're not charging like a lot of other things do. But
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is on that.
right.
But um, oh, uh, yeah. So what were the dimensions of your raised beds in that, Charles?
Currently, I've got it at one is 30. I'm going to leave it at 36 by 3 by 12, so 1 foot. And then I'm going to do one at, I don't know, 16 by 3 by 1 foot, one probably 12 by 3 by a foot. And if I add any more, I don't know. So I got a couple more to build. So
Yeah.
kind of getting away. I mean, last year the way I had my layout, I had just like one row of pots against the fence line, and I had a walkway. Of course, it was easier to get through, but I think I could utilize that differently by putting a raised bed all the way and along that line, so I could get more plants in. So try
Yeah.
to try to grow. Like I said, most of the raised beds are going to hold my milder or jalapenos or any of those varieties. The little 4 foot section, which is going to be the oddball, is going to do. I'm planning on just doing yellow monkey face. Maybe I'll have
Yeah.
some reds in there too, but mainly yellow monkey face because I like them so much. I'm gonna have one 8 foot of just nothing but CGN 21 500s and then CGN 21 500 times Baracapore. And then I
Okay.
think I'm gonna do one section or one 8 foot by 3 foot of just lemon starburst.
Okay.
So, and then one big bed that is 16 uh, by 3 of just Audgies. So we'll see. I got a ways to go yet. So somehow I got to find the money for the rest of this project. Mainly, it's called dirt and labor because I'm not moving the dirt into my backyard. So
Yeah.
I'm not breaking my back for 9 to 10 yards of soil.
Yeah. Yeah. It does take a bit of work moving a certain amount of soil.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, because I mean, last year I think I got like two and a half, or whatever it is, to fill the 180 pots or containers. And that was a lot of work in itself just to move the two and a half yards. So it's just a lot. So yeah, I can't get a bulldozer. That's the problem. Believe me, if I could, I would. So I have a lot of obstacles which people will have to overcome. For one, you got to go from the driveway to the backyard through the side fence, and then go to the raised beds. But then you got to go through my shade structure, and I don't know. It's a lot of work. So I'd rather let others deal with it than me. So yeah, we'll see how that works out the next few weeks. So hoping to get that next few weeks and then start getting it amended just right and get going on all that. So pretty exciting. Get ready for the peppers in April.
Yeah.
Oh, the other one I forgot to mention. Uh, the the orange turd sickle. That's another one I'm really looking forward to growing because I just want to really say orange turd sickle on all my video updates. It's a cool looking pod too, but I just want to say orange turd sickle a lot. So
Which
uh,
one was it?
orange turd sickle.
Oh, okay.
Do you have the dirt already? No. That I'll have to go up to Conroe to get because the place that I get my dirt from is from in Conroe. Well, they deliver it to here, but I get uh, my compost from Nature's Way Resources in Conroe. They supply a lot of the arboretums and the Rose Club of Houston and a bunch of other horticulture places around town with their compost and soil mixtures.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm Japan.
Hey, I'm Brendo.
I'm Charles.
Hmm.
What's up, Cody?
Hey, Cody, how's it going? How's it going?
Brando's practicing drums.
Yep. Uh, Getting ready. Getting anxious to get outside, get the garden going.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a lot for you because you got to wait so long generally because of the weather. I mean, you can go, I
Yeah.
guess, probably do something when the snow melts, but it's still probably chilly.
Well, yeah, it's still after the snow melts, then I have to be sure the ground is thawed.
Yeah. Well, after the cold temperatures, it's going to be probably a while.
Yeah. I mean, at least I noticed that there's some critters around there helping pre-amending the soil now.
That's good.
I mean, apparently there's still some rabbits hanging around in the garden area.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of
So,
rabbits around here. Maverick almost got one last night.
uh,
So yeah, I saw some this afternoon when I was just walking around the yard after I'm mowing it and everything. So there's quite a few rabbits.
yeah, wasn't too bad last year. I mean, there was more rabbits hanging around the garden area than there normally does, but
Yeah.
there's usually at least some. But apparently, a few of the rabbits decided to start having like, some of their litters around my garden area, and some of them decided to spend most of their little bunny life, bunny adolescence in my garden this year. So
They got to live somewhere.
yeah, they wouldn't. I didn't mind it because they actually, as long as they weren't bothered by plants, then I was fine with it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, I mean, even if they were bothering it, uh, bothering the plants, if it wasn't very noticeable, that would be good. Like I said, hopefully you didn't have a crop of lettuce and all the lettuce was gone.
oh no, but what I think they mostly did is there's certain little patches of greenery that I was letting still grow around in the garden, like there may be a few small patches of grass here or there, or a little bit of weeds here or there. And I think they were just chewing out some greenery here and that, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's generally what they're doing here. They usually hiding in everyone's front yards, flower bed, uh, and just kind of hide and seek and run around to the back. So
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't too bad because every so often I'd be out in the garden. And I just swear I'd see something like in the corner of my eye, and I'll just kind of look around the plant. There's a little bunny sitting right there looking at me.
oh yeah, they're flying too. Like I said, I mean they go pretty damn fast.
Yeah, and it's just like someone would just be chilling there, just eating some of the grass or this or that. It's just like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, because
uh,
that's kind of every time I think of Zootopia with the little
uh,
rabbit and then nightshades. Nightshades. I like that movie. That's a pretty.
yeah,
I want to go as using the word cute, but I enjoy that movie. That's a good movie. It also has sloths, so something I like as well as far as animals.
yeah,
Their scenes in that show are pretty cool, or the little cartoon, or whatever the hell they call it these days. So Pixar-ish or whatever type movie.
yeah, yeah. Some of those shows are pretty decent.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, so aren't they going to have another one of those coming out soon?
they have all kinds of movies come. I think the latest one is like Frozen 2, which I never saw
Yeah.
Frozen 1. So at the time at the retail store I worked at, I couldn't take Let It Go anymore. So I never watched that movie because every
Oh
kid,
man.
everybody was all they ever did was do the Let It Go and Let It Go. I was like, I can't take this. So uh, that's a movie I never watched. Never seen that one.
Yeah, yeah. Everywhere I went for the longest, it'd be that song, man. It'd be like, and
Yeah,
then then even at times when I went to this Christmas light show at this place, it was like they were playing that. It was like, it's
yeah,
like, I mean, I can understand why kids get into that, but still, it's just like, it's just gets a
right.
bit too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not the best for parents. That's like I
Yeah.
don't know how I don't know if where you're at, but the most theaters down here they serve alcohol now, and I had someone who worked for me had a second job, and he said the highest tip, the largest tips, and the most money he made was during kids movies because most parents were getting a couple, two, three drinks every time because they couldn't get through that damn movie either. So he said that was always a good tip movie if you got an
Yeah.
animation or a kid movie because the parents were just drinking mixed drinks or margaritas or beers or whatever they're drinking, shots. So
Yeah, yeah, a lot of those movies I can understand, but I mean, they still do not make movies anything like what they did in the 80s, though. But still,
80s was a good genre, very good. I mean, I'd say that with music and movies. I think
yeah,
personally, I mean, I may be biased because that was the years I grew up, but I personally I think the 80s had the biggest bang for the buck for everything, just in general.
yeah, yeah, they don't do the same thing in production value comparatively like what they used to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, like I said, I would go as far back to say the late 70s. Uh, if you go in the 77, 78 range, there's a lot of good movies as well.
yeah,
Then even the music, I think that was right at the turning point. But the '80s music, you that's when you started hearing so many different styles, so many different genres. I mean, but they were all, we look at it today as 80s music, but you listen to, most people like 80s music regardless, but they're liking a bunch of different genres. They're not like just liking rock or pop or, these days it's like you either like country, rap, or pop. Because I
Or
mean,
that auto or
well,
what they call
there's rock, but people generally just overlook rock. Like I said, I mean, they don't even acknowledge rock on any of the award shows or hardly anything. So rock music kind of gets put to the side.
yeah, but
So I was
one
watching.
thing, one of the things that's being way overdone nowadays is that auto tune thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I mean, like I think somebody was. Well, I watch or listen to Eddie Trunk, uh, who was on behind that metal show, and a bunch of other shows on VH1. But
Yeah,
like they're saying that some of these pop singers have 10 to 13 writers to write a 3 to 4 minute song. If you look at the
yeah,
credits, it's like, damn, how hard is a 3 to 4 minute song to write? And you really need 10 to 13 writers or people who are doing that. It's just crazy. And then like everybody's the biggest travesty or ever was the award show when Jethro Tull won over Metallica for best heavy metal group. That was the biggest crock, and like he was saying, it just they just been put to the side, and they're not even in prime time. You don't even see them on air. So anything rock related, they just like basically give them the finger. So that's generally what people want is the poppy or the rap or shit, whatever the hell they got now for rap, mumble rap, and all this other kind of stuff. And then there's of course the pop music, which you know that's another whole ball game in itself. So,
yeah,
but I can go on with music forever, but I don't listen to the radio, so I mean, like shows like that and stuff don't really concern me. Um, I generally find my music through other means. So,
yeah. I mean, a lot of times nowadays, radio just plays the same stuff over and over, and or they just play stuff what they're paid to play, and so
well, yeah, I mean, most radio is controlled by Live Nation. So Live Nation will have a contract to say you got to play this song at least this many times per two, how many hours. So if you're a DJ, say the Brando DJ show or Brando show, and you're the DJ for your 4 hour shift from whatever it is on your show from 12 to 4 or whatever your show time is, you got to play. Uh, I love to mess with my Arrow Garden at least 4 times during that show. So that's just how everything works. What's up, Scott? Yeah, we've just been talking about peppers and different varieties. We tried the fiery chili limon chip earlier. Really good chip. Not very hot, but really good taste.
yeah, that was a decent one, especially comparatively to a lot of other tortilla type chips around out now.
Yeah, it's good and really, it's not really hard and thick. It's a it's a real
Yeah,
nice thinner chip that's really crunchy and really good.
yeah, not overloaded with a bunch of seasonings either.
Yeah, I mean, you get it all over your fingers and everything, and have to lick your fingers and shit.
Yeah, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But, uh, so yeah, so I mean, I just been for the past like month or so. I've been so anxious to get outside and just start getting my hands dirty outside.
But if you get a blowtorch, you can maybe heat up the soil enough so where you can get your hands dirty. I don't know if it's like
Yeah,
totally frozen.
yeah. Even if I do heat it up with a blowtorch, man, it'd be kind of soggy with the ice and snow melting there.
That's true.
But I don't know. Uh, the process is going to be a little bit of initially tilling the soil. But
Yeah,
that's one of the things I got to deal with. I don't half mind doing that, but a lot of times after, my feet can feel a little sore after doing it. But it's fine. It's always usually worth it in the long run.
yeah. Like I said, I'm
But,
getting there. It just baby steps.
yeah, it'll
Here,
be seem like a process getting it going, but once it goes, it goes.
yeah. So like I said, I got a little bit accomplished today, which so we had a break in the weather. So at least I got some plants. The ones that are, from last season, kind of chipped up and everything. So it's getting there. Couple more loads of in that chipper. It'll be done for that portion.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. I had a thought earlier today, which I don't know. I probably might start thinking about getting a little portable fire pit thing that I could have, and then just start um, with some of the old dried out plants or whatever. I could always just start burning those up and scattering the ashes in my garden area. But
Right,
I don't know. That was a thought, but I'm not sure if I really want to do that or not.
right.
Because ashes are usually tend to be good for the soil anyway. Uh, but yeah. Yeah, Scott, my weather's still frozen tundra out here. Uh, uh, man, I've been so over this cold weather for so long.
Yeah. So hopefully it won't take too much longer to get through.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hoping that it'll be rather nice and get through this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Oh no. Still nice. It'll be nice when it does change.
Right. LED using growers. How far from the plants do you keep your lights? Well, it depends on the strength of the light. Generally, I keep mine uh, 24 to 30 inches above the highest plant. That's
Uh,
generally what I have. So my yes, and then like the smaller tin I have, the seedlings, I would say about the same. Yeah, so generally about 24 to 30 inches.
not me. Mine, well, the lower plants, the smaller plants, they are about that. But on my taller plants, some of them are just a couple inches from the tops of them.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the over winter one, the probably not so much because I do have a plant that is pretty much as high as the light, but it's still I try to keep them as close. I mean, a pretty good distance away if I can.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Um, I have to do something about this here.
and then depends on how you have it. Is there's in the 10 or whatever else. There's I mean, there's limitations to how far to go up anyway. With
Yeah,
you whole, however it is. I mean, generally people aren't going to go and have uh, a plant that's going to be as tall as a tent. I mean,
yeah. It
some people
also,
do. Don't get me wrong, some people do, but most people don't have them that big. Not in a tent.
yeah, it also depends on how many plants a person wants in their tent too. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
decides.
he's saying that his were 24 to 36 inches from the plant. It's a very low end LED, but the plants seem to be doing all right. Yeah, they'll do all right. He said, I mean, you don't need a super amount of wattage from LEDs to do a good job with peppers. So,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Charles. Like from what I've learned, I mean, from what I've seen is what more is that there'll be some people be like, I need like a 1200 or 1500 watt LED light, blah blah blah, and I need the biggest, some major name brand, and it's like, well, that's fine and all, that's your preference, but I mean,
yeah,
you don't necessarily need a 1000 to 1500 watt LED light.
yeah.
Not,
Well,
not
granted,
necessarily.
in my Big Ten, I do have that much. I have two
Well,
600s.
yeah,
But I mean,
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying I'm not saying anything negative, but
no, 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 no.
it
I
is
understand, but I'm just saying I do have that much. But mine also move so where only 4 foot section is getting 600 watts
yeah.
of the way mine is set up. And then like my
Okay.
small tent is dimmable 450, which I have it cranked down 70% to 70%. So you're still only at like 300 for the sea
Yeah.
lights.
That's what I was going to get at. It depends on what your setup is and that too. So
Yeah,
you see with what I got here. I mean, I don't got them like with that much and that, but what I got, I learned to work with the lights I got. So and so everybody's got their own thing, and what works works.
all right. And like I said, I mean, for like seedlings and even small plants, I mean, they grew just fine underneath the shop light that I have, a 36-watt LED shop light you get at a big box store. Uh, they did fine with that. So they'll grow under that too, as long as you have light above them. You don't want to keep it in the shadows or nothing because you don't want to start reaching and stretching for the light. So
Yeah,
as long as you get direct light over it.
yeah. And with the LED lights, I've learned it doesn't take a whole lot with them to get the plant pretty well because LED lights can be a little strong at times. So I mean, that's one thing is comparatively. I mean, what I've noticed compared from certain light versus another,
Right.
and it also depends on the spectrum of light,
Yeah.
because some are just red and blue lights, then some are more of a full spectrum of lights rather than just the red and blues. Even though
Yeah.
I know the plants do really well in the red and blues.
Yeah.
But,
And then I mean they can do well with just white. I mean,
yeah,
to be honest, I mean like in the summertime, I'll flip all the red and blues off and just have the whites because of heat, heat restraints because I don't want the tent getting so hot for wherever it is. So I'll just turn all the other spectrums off and just have a white LED, just as if you had just like a regular like T5 or T8 or whatever else going over it. So I mean,
yeah,
I'll shut them all down just to save on heat, as far as to make sure that the temperature doesn't get above a certain temperature in the tent.
yeah.
And then fans are critical. Fans help out too a lot. Plus, fans do a lot, like a couple things. There's air movement, circulation that helps out with certain issues from which I'm not going to mention which one that is, but that helps out with that. Also, just like without being outside, the wind, the circulation from the fans help out with the plant structure because it strengthens the small plant, and because it's swaying and have movement, and it makes that plant stronger. So it does kind of it does two things really. So that's just like when they're plants out in the wind and gets beat all to hell. It's a pretty tough plant when they're outside. That's also nature's way of topping plants as well, because they'll break down on the top or sides or whatever else, and then that's what nature, doing the wind and everything else, it'll top it itself.
Now, one of the things were you talking about edema, or
Yeah, that one. I'm not. Yeah.
'cause, I mean, I understand the whole thing with people using it to where strengthens up the plant a little bit, but I mean, I haven't really used too much on in regards to um, fans and here and with a lot of some of my plants. But
Yeah. Well, with the demon, the other thing is that uh, you could have a tendency to over. I mean, just as a rule of pretty much everyone, some at some point overwaters a plant. So
yeah,
if you have too much water going in, the plant's got to get rid of it somehow, and then without the circulation and everything else, it goes and does the crystallization, and that's what causes it. I mean, you can go
yeah,
to where it's not a bad case. Then there's bad cases where uh, they'll start forming warts or cysts, they want to call it. So the leaves will start bubbling up because of the edema
yeah,
issue, and then they'll start getting really brittle and start cracking all through the leaves, kind of like a brown oak leaf or whatever kind of fall leaf. They'll just start cracking just like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That stuff can happen, but I mean, yeah. In regards to overwatering, that can happen, but persons and people's got to learn to gauge their plants on that too. But I know all overwatering can happen with about anybody. So
Oh yeah, yeah. And sometimes you have no choice because if you get like you know, just like we did a couple years ago when in my garden, we had the hurricane or tropical storm at the time, and getting 31 inches of rain in 3 days, that's going to do a lot to the plants.
yeah,
They'll still hold up, but they may not be so well for a short period of time. They'll bounce
oh
back.
yeah,
It just it takes time, and they may go through a lot of changes because of the overwatering.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been times where here it's rained and rained real heavily, and there'll be freestanding water in some of the areas where my plants are at, and I won't be able to do much about it. The only thing I can do is just wait and hope it'll just drain away.
Yeah,
Because I mean, the only way I'd be able to do something about something like that is if I had some kind of water pump thing to pump the water away from where my plants are at. And
right.
still in that, wouldn't be able to be fully guaranteed to be in the clear
Yeah,
because of how much moisture would be in the soil. So, but I
right.
mean, but a lot of times it hasn't gotten to that point of where it's been really destructive on them. But I mean, I know there's could be bad repercussions for water being around for too long on the roots and plants and all that. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, because that's just one of the natural things that can happen in nature, you know.
right.
So the unfortunate side effect of too much moisture.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be root rot, could be some kind of mold or whatever else that
yeah,
decides to pop in.
yeah.
Could
Root
just
rot
simply,
happens. Root rot happens a lot.
yeah.
So, and you can see that. You know, that you can also see that in the hydroponics as well,
Oh
because you
yeah.
just and you see that probably more than soil a lot of times. It's just how bad the
Yeah,
roots are.
there's a lot of things that you doing growing in hydroponics that you'll notice with the roots more clearly because you don't have the roots being in with the soil, so you can't really see it when it's in soil.
Yeah,
But the thing I've noticed a lot about the hydroponics is that it's very common that a lot of old roots will start dying off, and then more roots start growing back in its place. I mean that happens in soil either way too, but
yeah,
you don't see it visually that much.
yeah. Well, I mean, you see. I mean, it's amazing to look if you do fabric pots or any kind of container when you pull that plant out and see just how big that root mass is. I mean,
Oh
it's crazy how that is.
yeah, see how it was you end up just being a mass of roots. Yeah.
Well, I mean, generally, there is soil remaining in the container,
Oh
but
yeah.
there's not as much as you think there would be because it's all consumed by the roots. So it's a lot of roots going on in there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I do like growing in containers as well, but I mean I like growing in ground a lot. I mean that's
But like I
one.
was discussing with you earlier, that depends on the part of the area you're at because, like I said, you got great soil. Here, I got crap. So
Oh yeah.
I'm like with Rev and everybody else. We have sandy clay below the top loam because they put the loam and they put the sod, but below the loam, which is a very thin layer, is nothing but sand and clay. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's all we have.
Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of places I've been to. It gets like that a lot of places. But I mean, I was just saying, I like growing it in the ground, if at all possible when I can. But I do like growing in containers because containers can be pretty nice to grow in as well. Because I've had some pretty nice plants come out of containers and produce really well.
Right.
Um, and I mean, it's just, I mean, plus there is drawbacks to growing in any kind of form that a person grows in. So,
Yeah.
I mean, no matter which way and however a grower grows, there's always going to be something a grower has to go through. So,
Right. Right. Yep.
I mean, but whether a person's growing in the ground, whether a person's growing in a growing in hydroponics or whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
just or even in like containers of various
Well,
forms.
I mean, the main thing is really is to just even in soil, you want to make sure you have the proper aeration and I guess the breakage of the soil so where the roots can travel through and not get
Yeah,
stuck. So that's
yeah,
like a lot of farmers go and they'll drop gypsum or a bunch of other materials in the soil to break it up to where it's more aerated and free and open
yeah,
so that the roots and plants can grow better.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, roots have a tendency to get through a lot of things, but when just as you're getting at right now, once the soil is easier to more malleable or easier to kind of crumble up and do fluffier or whatever, it's easier for the roots just to do its own thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I mean, it's always nice to see plants thrive.
yeah.
I
I mean,
always like spot.
that's
What
the
is
main
it?
thing. Is just either whatever method you use. Uh, if you went cracky, regular hydroponics, DWC, soil, whichever method you choose, your your soil needs to be your number one priority to get everything for what that plant needs. If you're doing DWC or cracky, you got to make sure that your media, which is the nutrients and water, are going to be up to par and make sure that everything's spot on as far as pH and levels of whatever the plant might need. So those are the most important things to look for.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just like whatever your means of growing. I like watching different aspects of or seeing different aspects of the way people grow their plants and everything.
Yeah,
It's always nice to see that, and you know, um, and everybody, I mean, each grower I've seen uh, tends to adapt rather well to the environment they're growing in. So that's a
yeah.
plus.
But you have to, and it may take a while. I mean, you may not
Yeah,
get it the first shot.
yeah.
A lot
So
of people's first year isn't their best year because they don't have the experience, or you got to. I mean, every year is a different hurdle for everybody. I mean, even
yeah,
if you're an experienced grower, you've been growing for years, there's always something that you can learn. There's always something that comes up that's a challenge. I mean, just, with a pest or too much rain, too dry, too hot, whatever it might be, there's some challenge for every grower every year. And whatever you learn from the previous year, you just keep moving on, and then you just keep learning that knowledge, and then you become a better grower.
yeah. I mean, a lot of times I found out that it may not even be the first year or two, or even 3 years or something, until before a person gets the hang of the area or method they're growing in.
Right.
I mean,
Well, I mean,
could
but
even take.
these days you have a lot of tools that really help out. Like I said, I mean, what I did my first year was I watched the hell out of YouTube videos. Now, like I said, just like with any other kind of thing that you do, any hobby or whatever, some things that some people give you are good advice. Some things not so much, and you got to take the good and the bad and like kind of piece everything together and see what you think would be a method that works. But there's so many things out there now that people have instructional videos, and that's one good thing about YouTube is that you see different things and you're actually visually seeing it, and you could try it and experiment with it and see if that method works for you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's one way to put it. Is find whichever method that works well in your environment and what. Yeah, just basically just what you said. So, Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because like what you're hitting at as well. Like you know, growing for me in the ground here is a little bit different growing in the ground for you there. Doing more towards it because of the environment you're living in.
Right. I mean, I got to
Yeah,
do it. I got to do a crap ton if I want to grow actually in the ground. I mean, I got to
yeah,
go and dump a lot of different materials, being soil, compost, maybe manures, whatever it might be, worm
yeah,
castings, whatever. Chunk a lot of that stuff in there, and then it still may not be right. You still
yeah,
have to test the soil, see how the soil is, and then work on it again and amend
yeah.
that
Because
soil again. So you got to do this. It could take a couple years to get your garden the way you need it to be for what you're growing.
yeah, because I've talked to people that had similar experiences, the types of soil that's similar to yours,
Yeah,
and they've said they've tried bending the soil, they've tried this and they've tried that, and when it for some reason with all the sandiness and this and that in the soil, a lot of those nutrients tend to kind of get flushed away because the sand in all that area doesn't retain it too well in their area. I'm not saying it's going to be the same in yours, but
mm,
in their area, they just kind of doesn't hold the same
no,
as it would in some other people's areas.
yeah. Like I said, I mean, the best method I think here is to uh, do a raised bed or containers. I did containers. This is my first year doing raised beds. But anything where you have good soil to start with and things that you can go and work amendments into will
Yeah.
be really helpful for you because those natural amendments, whether it be azomite, fish bone meal, uh,
Oh yeah.
guano, uh, you know, uh, there's a bunch of different things. Kelp mill, uh, seaweed, whatever it
Uh,
may be. That
yeah.
all those things really help out that area of soil.
Yeah. Then there's what a lot of people are incorporating now is that worm castings, and then I was at a store the other day. They had a bag of this stuff that was marked chicken manure pellets. So
Yeah, I know Jay from Jersey. That's what he generally uses. So he
yeah,
uses the chicken manure to do his raised beds.
yeah, that's pretty decent to use stuff because I mean it's just like whatever you got to use at your disposal, then by all means,
All right.
and
It's just the rule of thumb with manures is trying to make sure that something's not too hot. So I mean, each manure may have a different value on that. So you don't want something that's gonna like totally mess up the whole area either.
yeah, I mean like what I've learned about using manures and that is a lot of times people will say the older the better the stuff is.
Yeah,
That's a general rule of thumb, but that's because it's got to given it time to kind of break down and not be so, like what you said, hot. But but if a person's going to use it and it's still more of the still more near freshness, not exactly fresh, but it's always best to let it sit out for at least a month or something to get washed through by rain and all that stuff, so it won't be all as intense on the plants and that.
yeah,
I mean, that's from what I've seen about gardening, or not just gardening, but farming in general and stuff like that.
right.
Especially with the, especially with the farmers I've seen around the area too.
Yeah,
So, and there are some farmers that I've noticed that actually sell Dynagrow.
yeah,
I mean, I haven't bought it from any of them or anything like that, but I've seen some of them actually say, "Yeah, it's sold here." It's like, wow, really? It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Dynagrow is a very popular nutrient.
Yeah, yeah, but when it's used like that for farming, industrial farming purposes, it's
Yeah.
done a little bit differently than what people usually get in those gallon jugs or
Oh, well,
something.
right. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's still it's popular with a large group. I mean, not just farmers, hobbyists, small gardens, what have you. It's real popular.
Yeah, because yeah, I think it's more in a different form and not in the liquid form so much when they get it for done more of a bigger operations in regards to farming.
Yeah,
Um, so, but I mean, there's a lot of different practices I know a lot of farmers use to get their fields going. So, I mean, yeah. So there's it also depends on the regions they are in because there's certain laws in certain regions that they certain farmers can't use certain stuff depending on what area they're in as well.
right,
So, but, yeah, I mean it's more or less doing that deal with agricultural laws and whatnot. Uh, but there's a lot of different things that people should practice when growing in those kind of operations.
right,
Yeah, well, that's a whole different thing altogether. But yeah, um, uh, so have you ever looked back on when you first started growing and then think of how your methods have kind of changed up or switched up since then?
actually, they haven't changed very much. I mean, uh, I've started with generally the same amendments. I've added did a few things differently as far as like the soil because the first year I generally used a bunch of bagged uh, potting soil, Fox Farms, Ocean Forest. I didn't have quite as many plants, but it still that cost a fortune. Uh,
Yeah,
so it took a lot because each big bag of soil you only get two 5 gallon containers. I think at the time everything I did was three, so I got each bag was three plants. I had 56 plants, so that was what 20 bags of soil at you know $14 each. So it wasn't too bad. But I mean, it's you definitely get more bang for your buck if you got a good compost soil mixture that you can buy in bulk.
yeah,
If you grow a lot of plants, if you don't grow a lot
yeah,
of plants, it doesn't matter. But just kind of it's each 2.1 cubic feet bag or whatever it is does either one 10 gallons fabric pot or two 5 gallons. Of course, you could just do the math, but
yeah,
like I said everything I've done is pretty much the same. I've always used fishbone meal. Always use azomite. I used always generally a fish and seaweed fertilizer. I've changed the fertilizer up a little bit because I do a drip system now. So I do a time release, which I just stick with the Osmocote. Um,
yeah,
that's just the easiest without going to a fert injector. I mean, because if you're growing a lot of plants, so I'm just not really confident in doing a fert injector because the one I want for one is costly, and then to set up the whole system. And I would be running Dynagrow through it because Dynagrow is one of the easiest to go through. So that get costly as well. So Um, the Osmocote's not too bad as far as cost. It's a very, it's very easy to do. 2 tablespoons per 5 gallon bucket. Change it for my temperature, my climate here, every 2 to 3 months. Uh, put some more in, so it's not too bad. So one bag will last you more than for me, 180 plants. I still have leftovers from last year, so I think the cost is not too bad at a 80 something dollars for a bag um, to fertilize all of your plants for 1 year. Of course, you throw away the. I use organic everything when you do Osmocote, but I've learned that I'm never going to be 100% perfect on trying to be Omri certified or anything like that anyway. So it's cool. I'll just stick with what is easy for me to use, and it works just fine.
But yeah, um, yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, I learned to initially me starting off. It took me a while to find my little thing and say get my setup a certain way that I wanted, wanted it.
Right. Oh well, I guess the other thing that I've taken most uh, is just doing the KISS method and don't worry so damn much. So the KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Just do that. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it, and
Uh,
just roll with it, and then everything will be all right. Don't overanalyze things. Don't. I mean, personally, I don't have an attachment to my plants. Some people do, but I don't. If something happens to it, something happens to it. If it dies, it dies. Uh, I mean, it's just not that big a deal to me. It's just a plant.
well, see, I mean, with me, when I first started, I took things so so freaking personally a lot of times when I first
Yeah,
started
but I
growing.
mean, that's what I'm saying. As you learn over the years, that's one thing you can take from your early years to now is that you just don't worry about it as much because some way you can go around it, fix the problem, and or it's just not worth worrying about.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's comparatively, now versus then because then I used to think about just every little thing that would go on. That would be, almost like be like, ah, and then now it's just like not so much. Like, I mean, there's part of me that's like, okay, before I start, get worked up or anything, what okay, if I do this, then I can do that, then this and that, then it
Yeah,
goes different step by step kind of thing,
right.
versus like going into going into you know freak out mode almost.
Yeah. Well, that's just like going back to the edema thing. You know, unless your plant has severe edema and it really just totally messes up all the leaves and just takes over the plant and it just does a number on it. By the time you get it outside, unless it's a long time, say if you started your plants in shit, I don't know, October, November,
Yeah,
you started them just recently or what have you, and then you let them grow out to pretty good size. Say they have edema, all those problems generally work out once you get them out in nature because they have the proper things that they need. It's just not it's uh, the the whole grow room and grow tents or whatever else uh, is nothing like being outside. So everything kind of fixes itself. And then that is also about the growth. Growth is the same way. if you ever, I've done this experiment before too. It's just like, you can crank on all those LED lights I have in a tent. You turn those lights off and pop open a window and have the sun come through. It looks like you have a night light compared to a flashlight with whatever LEDs you have. So you can have a 1200, 1500 watt LED. That light looks nothing like the sunlight. So
Yeah,
it just everything once you get it outside generally works itself out.
yeah, yeah. Initially, when what I've seen when plants go from inside to outside, and
Yeah,
they're and going from that transition to being in the light they get inside to going out there,
yeah.
it's like it's like it's like a person that's never seen sunlight, I've been out in the sun before, and then all of a sudden goes out in the sun. It's like, ee, they
Well,
start freaking out.
that's just like um, hardening off the plants.
Yeah,
I do it to a minimal basis. I mean, I do have some shade cloth and stuff that does help me out. But even if they got burned a little, burnt there, whatever, generally they're not gonna. It's gonna be all right with those as well. They'll come back
yeah,
around. Like I said, for me, depends on the number of plants you have. You just can't be wheeling these plants out back and forth to do all these rotations to give them enough sunlight for a certain amount of time and then bringing them back in. It's just too much work.
yeah. Yeah, I used to do that a lot initially when I was some years ago, and that took a whole lot of time just
Yeah,
to move the plants in and out, and this spot and that spot, just to be sure to harden them off a certain way. And you know, if you got a certain method that can help you, then go by all means go by it. But otherwise, if you don't, then you're just going to, I don't know, spending
and
way too
the
much
other thing
time as
is
you need.
don't progressively go up in size and container until hopefully like a solo cup size, a 3 ounce, a 3 inch pot, nursery pot, whatever it is. That's your final size. Hey Susie, what's up? Hopefully that's your final size because I learned that's another going back from my first years. I thought it'd be cool as hell to get uh, all these plants in. I don't know what was 3 gallon. I think there were 3 gallon smart pots at the time, and I tried to cram all those damn plants, which started growing a lot, into a tent, and it's just tough. And if you keep it at a smaller size, they're more easier to deal with because you just don't want to get them too big. So, like I said, I mean, if you can get them to that 5 to 8 inches, and just take them out, plant them in the container that you're gonna put them as a home or raised bed or whatever else, they'll do just fine. Because I mean, like I said, generally, like you look at, I know that it's a different mindset from a nursery, a commercial nursery, like say bonnie plants. Well, I mean, but if you look at a bonnie plant, most of them are in that 5 to 8 inch range when you buy it. Generally, it's not like they're selling you a huge pepper plant. So if you get it to about that level, that's really where they need to be to take off and go to the next level once they take off outside.
Yeah, so a lot of times with the way they have the body plants and stuff set up, where they got all that, their stuff plants are pretty much good to go, be outside right away.
Yeah.
But I mean, however they have their setup going must be pretty decent in order to be effective at their stage. And like you mentioned about the size of the planters that they're in, they're
Yeah.
not very big planters, and they can have pretty good sized plants already.
Yeah.
And that's you know about the size. With everybody learns to gauge them right, if their plants are at a certain stage, they can respond pretty well to being taken outside without a whole long thing of transition.
Yeah.
It also depends on somebody's environment too, because some people's environment, like what happens in your area at certain times of the year, the sun can get a little intense on plants. So
It can. That's why I really strive. You know, I go with the shade cloth, so I don't have a lot of issues. 40% is enough. That's all you need is 40%.
yeah, yeah, because I mean, I've heard like stories of like what you're saying, like some areas the sun just gets way too much
Right.
for for it, and which which is nice to have like good hot temperatures, but some plants just don't respond well to that kind of certain temperatures
Yeah. Well,
and
I mean, you
certain.
got to look at the plant too. Like I said, I've said that before on other live streams, what have you. It's like, look at where these plants, beside, minus the crosses, because crosses are all over the board. But look at where the original plant started from. So if you're looking at Scotch bonnets, what is the climate in Jamaica?
Yeah,
So, if Jamaica's high temp is 87, generally that plant is going to thrive in high 87 or close to 90 and below to whatever the low range is. So, where if you go higher than 90, it may have issues because that's really not the climate it originated from.
yeah, yeah, that's true. And one thing I've also noticed is that, let's say, for example, uh, Charles, you're growing a strain and you're growing the same one for about 5 or so plus years or so. So let's say like this year you get a strain and then you want to grow it out continually for the next 5 plus years, and each generation you're saving seeds from the one you select
Mm-hmm.
or choose to save seeds from.
Yeah.
I've heard from other gardeners and that in other places that say after so many years of growing a plant into certain types of environments, they start acclimating to the area they're constantly growing in.
Right. Well, I mean, that's just like, I mean, I think that's a lot in the whole. I mean, I mean, I watch. I don't have snakes, per se, but I watch. For some reason, I'm fascinated with some of the snake people on YouTube who have, reptile shops and what have you, and that's just like a timber rattler. A timber rattler's range goes all the way from up north all the way to uh, really to where like Rev is, like I think near the Carolinas or what have you. But they said that they have adapted to where their venoms vary from whatever range they're at. So in the colder climate or the warmer climate, or wherever it is. So it just things in nature vary over the course of time. It builds up. So wherever that I know it's a weird segue, but just like the snakes from where they are, the whole range. Same thing with plants. They can change, and their main focus is to strive to have a next generation. So their main thing is to uh, go and freaking have that pod to drop and have seeds and make another pepper plant. That's like why people say stressing plants make things, the pods hotter as well. I don't know how much proof everybody has into that, but basically what it's doing is, when you're like neglect. I wouldn't say neglecting it, but like you're not watering as much and letting it go back and forth, back and forth. It's pumping everything it has in that plant into that pod because it wants that pod to go to the next stage. So that's what it's doing. It's pumping everything it has in there because it thinks it may die or whatever it is, but it's going to give whatever it has into that pod.
Yeah, and I think the stressors can vary as well, to giving the area that it's in, the way the methods it's being grown to. I mean, I mean, like some of the methods will be similar, but they can vary just slightly enough, giving like from where you're at, where you're growing in. Maybe from example to where maybe Brent's growing in or I'm growing in. You
Right,
know, not there may be subtle things, but a lot of them can be very similar.
right.
But, yeah, I mean, it'd be
That's
interesting.
just like as well as like I said, just going the environment. We're still like Cody was saying. Just it's everything adapts, everything changes too. Because I've had uh, pods from people who are in different parts of the country, and the 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 pods just are hotter or have a different taste uh, depending on wherever they're at in the country.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a true thing right there because um, comparatively, like where some people have grown in California, grown to grown to where you're at, grown to Minnesota down even down this way, they do vary from the what they feed their plants and how they grow their plants,
Right,
where and all that. It's just like one of those things. It's just one of those oddball things. But I mean, like what you're saying, it does depend on the environment to environment.
yeah. I mean, it definitely varies.
And but like yeah, like say could even be just as simple as the looks of the plant, or just can affect the heat and flavor, and or all things in general.
Yeah,
But I like to see the variables in that myself. I mean,
right.
so I mean like the what your plants would come out as, like the flavor and the heat level of your plants probably could come out a bit differently than let's say the flavor, not in a bad way, but I mean just uh like your take on it versus uh Rob's take on it or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just all so
Well, I mean, it
it's all
also depends on the nutrients and what's in the soil as well. I mean, there's a
yeah,
lot of variables because I mean that has the whatever nutrients or fertilizer you're using, what's in your soil, the amendments, uh, if it's grown, I think in ground or in container. There's just so many variables that can change what that pod might taste like.
oh yeah, definitely. And it can even vary from plant to plant, even if it's the same grower growing that as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah. I've had definitely. Rob can attest to that because I grew two, I think two of his yellow jackets. I think it was two or three. No, it was three yellow jackets. One was more of the orange pheno. To, I think two were the yellow. The yellowish pheno, more yellow, more pronounced than that orangish yellow pheno. Definitely had a different taste and definitely was way the hell hotter. I mean, so
Yeah,
something about that pheno that came off of whichever one. Definitely the yellow one, the real bright yellow one, was hotter than than the orangish yellow one. Definitely.
Yeah, I've noticed that like what you're saying is that in my experience with some of these plants, there's been flavor changes even from one ghost pepper plant to another, and then there's also been flavor changes in even down to jalapeno types too. Um,
Yeah.
but then there's been like slight changes in, let's say, the seven pop primo yellows that I grew before.
Right.
There were slight changes in those, the phenotypes and the and the flavor of it.
Right. Well, that's just
So,
like a lot of the jalapenos. You could tell by what type of summer the jalapenos growers had, due to the fact that if the jalapenos are like super hot one year, so
yeah,
sometimes you'll get jalapenos from the store if you don't grow your own or you run out or whatever it might be, or even if you're at a restaurant and they're making like fresh salsa, some kind of creamy dip or whatever it might be. You're like, damn, this batch is hot. Well, it's that batch of jalapenos, I guess, due to the fact that they may had a drier, hotter growing season. It changed that level of heat on those jalapenos.
yeah. Um, yeah, just like what you're saying, it's all. I like seeing that kind of thing when it comes to even just from plant to plant basis. It's just like it's just I don't know. To me, that's interesting to see all that kind of variations in that.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just like that's one of my things is I like to see what about any grower can do or how their results are with whatever plants they decide
yeah.
to grow.
Well, that's just a good thing about like on the PLC, the contest. Like I said, it's gonna be awesome to see what people could do in different parts of the world, really, to how they go and adapt and how this King Star Lemon Starburst winds up. How many
Yeah,
pods, what kind of phenos they're going to get, what their taste, what their heat level is, all that. It's just going to be kind of cool to see what they're going to get out of those plants.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I agree with you on that, man. I mean, it's just interesting to see all what comes about and
Well, I mean, the other thing is that generally is, it, they all originated, where it originated from Kang. So everything can be traced back to him. So it's just, and who he gave seeds to and who grew those out, who then, you know, gave seeds to others. Because, I mean, generally, King gave them to most. Then there was a select few this year who grew it. I mean, it's still not, it wasn't a lot. Now, this year coming up, or I mean, I should have said last year. This year coming up, it's going to be totally different because I think that Jesse guy, Rob, Jeff Hobbs, William Beckham, a bunch of people sent those seeds out to everybody, and then people just generally traded. You already had them, so it's just going to be like I said, it's just going to be crazy seeing all that stuff.
yeah. Um, I don't know. Uh, hmm.
What's up, David?
Hey, Steve. Uh, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. That's one thing what I like about when I'm since I've been growing. I like to see the different variations that just show up in even in within the plants I'm growing.
Oh yeah,
Uh, and so I mean, I don't know. I just like seeing that different odd stuff like that.
right.
But even though I don't take part in the contests and that, I'd like to see people's variations and stuff like that. But,
Oh yeah, it's gonna like I said, it's gonna be a lot this year. So you'll see a lot of. I imagine you'll see a lot of good numbers from people because it is a
yeah,
very high yielding plant. It produces a lot.
I don't know. Debate on whether or not I should start germinating any that.
I
Uh,
highly suggest it. It's one of the best pods I've ever had in my life. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's that damn good.
yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing that how that turns out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Uh, uh, shoot.
I'm doing good, David.
Doing all right, Dave. Um, just chilling and chatting right now.
More emphasis on chilling.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. I don't know, man. Shoot. Uh,
Yeah, Rocky, that'll be fun. That's the funnest part. Filling the
yeah, that's true. Filling those and filling up raised beds with the soil.
Yep.
That's the fun part. All right. But I don't know. just for the most part, while I'm waiting on that, waiting for the weather to change, I'm definitely going to be waiting for some of these several pods that are starting in here to ripen up. So, in the
Yeah.
meantime, I still got this bell over here that's about half ripened. So, um, I'll save seeds for that. And probably plant that out in the garden.
Right.
That's one of those ones I haven't seen them sell in the stores past several years.
Yeah.
So try to keep that one going for a little while. Yeah. Tomorrow morning, I'm definitely going to have to be cooking up some food. Bust out a little bit of Randall spice on that food. All right. Um. Oh man, starting to get a bit late.
That sounds good. Prime rib and veggies.
Yeah. Some juicy, tender meat.
Yes.
Mm, yummy. Does sound good. But
It does. Very good.
I gotta stop thinking about food.
Yeah. Sometimes
That's,
that's hard.
yeah, I know that's the problem. I'm always thinking about food. Uh, all right. Let's see. Yeah.
You about ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I guess I could.
That's a good conversation. We got to try the Pocky chip. It's about 3 hours, so
Yeah.
that was a good talk. Good chat and chill.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. No. Uh, oh, dang it. I just realized I forgot to cash in my scratch off ticket. Whatever.
It's probably a little late now, but you could do that tomorrow.
Yeah. No rush.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Yeah, so all right, Charles. So when's your stream coming up?
Tomorrow, probably about 9 o'clock. I got to work till 8:30, so probably about 9. We'll have Rocky on, so Rocky,
Okay.
me, and BD are going to taste test. I'll go get it real quick. Just some sauce that Rocky had in Louisiana, but Louisiana Supreme pepper sauce, Tabasco peppers, and habaneros.
Hmm.
So Just
That
give
should be
that. Just
interesting.
gonna give that a try. So it should be fun. Join us tomorrow about 9 o'clock Central Time, and me, BD, Rocky, and Rob will be doing that. So we'll be doing the same thing, just chilling and talking and trying this hot sauce and see where that leads to.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what y'all have to say about that sauce.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We'll probably be trying other sauces. I know Rob was saying he was wanting to try a couple other sauces, so we'll see what else we can get into besides that one as well. So should be fun.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully they got a good kick to it.
Yeah, I bet you it does. So I'm really looking for flavor. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, flavor is always nice.
Yeah. So we'll give it a whirl tomorrow. So tune in on my channel at 9 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central, 10 Eastern, however you want to look at it for time zones. So 9 Central. I'll be posting that up uh, for my channel pretty soon. Yep, that's pretty much it.
All right. Yeah, so that'd be cool to see what you guys have or how that goes out tomorrow. That's how you said it. That one sauce has got Tabasco and habanero in it.
Yeah, it's Tabasco. Well, vinegar, of course, since this is a Tabasco style, but a habanero,
Okay.
Tabasco, peppers, salt, and xanthan gum. So,
Uh,
so we'll see how it goes.
yeah.
It looks interesting. Like I said, it's something I haven't seen here locally. So, Rocky picked that up at a place in Louisiana. So, something he sees over there. So, should be fun.
Okay. Well, hopefully it'll be decent, and hopefully it won't be over vinegar, over vinegared.
Vinegary, yeah. Hopefully, it won't be that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll give it a taste test tomorrow.
All
Check that
right.
out.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah. You hear what Lisa has to say? Or read it?
Uh, do you want the world's hottest hot sauce I got from Pucker Bites? I think it would be too hot for me. I think you should try it. It may not be because they, well, Pucker Bite was also into with the Last Dab, and believe me, the Last Dab isn't as hot as everybody says it is. So you may be all right with it, but I mean, I'll try it. I mean, if you don't want to, if you don't want it, so I can always do a taste test on a review or on a live stream. But I think you really should try it. It may not be as hot as it says because they said the last dab was supposed to be like 2 to 3 million Scovilles or whatever. I can absolutely guarantee it's not that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean,
the hardest part about the last dab is the texture, and then dealing with the mustard and cumin and all this other stuff with it. It's not, it's not bad, but it's not the best sauce I had either.
yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing that they were trying to hype that up, but it hasn't been living up to what people were
People
expecting.
buy it because I mean it's on Hot Ones, so a lot of people like to watch that YouTube show, Hot Ones. So that I mean it sells. I mean it's expensive, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's basically how Last Dab is. Last Dab is almost a puree mash, so it's not much else. It's real thick, and you can have seed texture and a bunch of other things going on in there. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I like sauces and stuff like that. That's more like what you just mentioned. But I mean, that's me. But I don't know. I mean, I think every sauce or something has its own place as well. Like the thinner ones have their place, and just like the thicker ones do as well.
yeah,
But, and so, all right. Guess we could get ready to start winding this down a little bit, unless anybody has any questions beforehand. All right. But yeah, everybody be sure to check out Charles's stream tomorrow night. You said what, 9 o'clock?
yeah, 9 Central,
Okay, nine
somewhere around
central.
there. Like I said, you got to give me a few minutes because I got to get home from work and
Okay, so
let out
9-ish.
let out the dogs at 9ish. Yeah, it
Okay,
won't be too much. It won't be too long. I mean, I'll come on and just start the stream and let BD and Rob talk or and Rocky talk for a minute while I get settled in. So
okay. Yeah, yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see you guys try out those sauces and everything.
cool.
Yeah. Then let's see. All right. So if anybody hasn't yet, be sure to check out Charles on his channel, Google Plus too. And then yeah, everybody check out each other on here too.
Yep.
Why not? If you haven't already.
I imagine we have,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
still, it's good to say anyway.
yeah. All right, everybody thumbs up each other. Why not?
Yes.
But all right, guys. Guess we'll go ahead and wind this stream down. Talk to y'all in a little while or something. And then yeah, stay tuned for everybody else's streams. Rev streams Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, whatever he has going on.
Yeah.
Uh, then
Taco
yeah.
Tuesday.
Oh yeah, Taco Tuesday. All right, guys. We'll talk to y'all later. If y'all haven't already, flip us a thumbs up, please. And then keep it spicy and all that. Stay healthy, y'all. All right, guys. See you later.